Mr. Sun has got a suited queen here. I suggest he's coming along here. Yeah, he's got a smooth call.
You try.
I've never beaten him.
But he's not going to stop trying, Mr. Sun.
You know why they call him Mr. Sun, don't you? Rather than by his Christian name. Because no one can pronounce Hawaii.
Yes, that's why I call him Mr. Sun or Uncle, because I don't know how to pronounce his first name.
It's after the software giant. You know, there's a software giant that makes telephones. Hawaii.
Yes.
But it's not him. He told me, he said, it's such a pity, but it's not him. I asked him, I said, you own all those telephones? No, not at all. Another king on the board. So Mr. Sun's queen is looking pretty good here. 460,000 in a pot. That's a huge pot by the standards. I mean, how do these pots get so big so quickly?
Well, he's golden now.
The fool's academic. He's already got a pair of kings on the board, so.
Mr. Sun, 6, Divan, North.
I think he's pretty confident no one has anything.
Mr. Sun,
So we have an addition to the technical team just walking in. How's it, bud?
Pocket ace no good.
Just put the 150 in the car.
So we just had some visitors to the booth here, so we had to just shut off the screen. We don't want people looking at what's going on. So Roxy asked if she could bring a visitor in. This isn't a visitor. This is a superstar who's a rich man. Congratulations, Neil. Well done. Well played. Well played. We gave you a lovely shout out to your family. Neil Jacobs just walked into the booth. Recently departed the final table. You haven't got a phone with you, have you? That's good. Okay, because we have to retain the security in the booth here as we're watching the guys live.
I was hoping you got away from that hand. I was saying it to you, like, fold it. That was a tough hand.
So Rhonda and I are commentating on the live screen here. We're seeing it live. Neil's come in for a look-see in the booth, and hopefully we can convince Neil to come back and maybe do some commentary for us later in the day. Give us an insight into some of these players. Just quickly looking back to the screen, and
do you ever lose, Mr. Sun?
Mr. Sun continues to get richer. You know, for the benefit of the folks who've just joined us on the stream, and I see Warwick's just joined us on the stream. You know, Rhonda came in. She predicted Mr. Sun would win this, and he had no chips. Are you mad? And of course, now he's the chip leader, and Rudy's held the chip lead all day, and now Mr. Sun is. To use Rudy's words, we've created a monster.
Yes.
So yeah, fantastic. We're very close to the end of this 1 hour session, and I think we're probably going to get a 15-minute break. I'm looking across at my tech team. What is the time on the timing screen, fellas? And Neil Jacobs just left. What a pleasure to see him. We've got 8.5 minutes on the clock, so thanks, guys. And I'm looking forward to catching up with Neil outside. Yeah, so he did very, very well, Neil. Huh?
He did very well.
What a lovely man.
Absolutely.
We'll see if we can drag him in to give us an insight into the. He's got ace-7 of clubs here, and we'll see some action here from Devon for sure. Under the gun. Very strong hand, once again, short-handed.
Raise.
Rudy gets rid of his card very, very quickly. And Harold's not going to get sticky with 5-4. Trust me. Oh my word, big blind-itis. You know.
That's a Ronda move.
Yeah. I'm saying nothing. I'll take the Fifth Amendment now, I think. And here we go. 3 diamonds. Ace high is still looking good. There's no real draws there for Harold, so the only way he's going to win the hand is to bet here. Check, check. Turn guard brings a 10. Gut shot straight draw for Divan with the jack. Sorry, with the king. No, I'm lying with nothing. Getting tired, need fuel. And there's the river king and the ace of the check, check.
Queen hier gevoerd.
I gotta check a 3. I make a street.
Mr. Sun is telling everybody what he folded. The legend continues.
Queen 9.
I have a T-shirt that says nobody cares what you folded.
Yes.
I do. I actually have a T-shirt that says that because
3 of 3.
It's true.
I just can't do this to the person on a live stream, but I won't say who it is. But I have a former acquaintance, should we say, because it was in East Africa. It's not here. And every single hand, he folded the nuts.
Yes.
And it was driving me crackers.
Yeah.
So I actually bought a T-shirt online that says nobody cared what you folded.
Yeah. We have a cash player in Edmonton that does the same thing, and again, every time it's the should have, I would have had, and we really don't
Doesn't
care.
it pee you off,
No.
stuff like that?
You
I
just,
mean, I just hate it.
I can't stand it. No, we all have hands that we folded that we would have hit, but
I remember one hand in particular, and I mean, that's just an acquaintance, I didn't say friend. And the board was 5-5-7 Jack King. I remember it distinctly. And at the end of the hand, he said, I folded pocket fives. He said, I would have flopped quads. And the guy next to him said, I have quads as well. I've got pocket fives. Suffice to say, he went to the cage with his tray, and we didn't see him for a few weeks. You know, what are you achieving by telling everybody you folded the nuts?
no, nobody.
You're just annoying everybody.
Yeah, nobody cares.
Yeah. Speak to somebody who cares.
Yeah.
You know, I'm with you. So your money's on a chop at the break, yeah? Do you think they're going to chop it up at the break?
I think so, because especially if they are going to try to play tonight, I think they're just kind of going in circles here.
I think the
They
money will be more important than playing tonight, and the trophy as well. But
they could play for hours with four players.
Oh, they will.
So
I mean, maybe they'll do a deal. We'll see what the chip counts are. They are reasonably close in chips.
Jammer ook gegeven. Weet je wel.
No, it's up to
I'll let you
100,000.
know.
60 more.
This bottom of the range.
Bottom of my range, 7-5 offsuit. I love this guy. Yeah, so the chip counts are 2.7, 2.4, 1.7, 1.3. They're not close, sir. They are not close. If there's a deal to be done, then, you know, the two bottom players are going to get significantly less on the ICM. So for me, I don't think there's a deal to be done because Ivan's already locked up 200,000. This is his life. This is what he does for a job. He wants to play for the money. Trust me. You know, and the other players who are a million ahead are hardly going to give him an equal share.
doesn't take long to split $1.5 million though in one pot at these
I
kind
agree.
of.
I agree. But
The,
you know, if
the
you,
chip
if you
leaders can be at the bottom in a heartbeat.
Yeah, my argument, and I'm playing devil's advocate, I can go either way on this, is that you know, at the end of the day, if you're happy with the 200,000,
Yeah.
well, why not stay in and play for the rest anyhow? You know,
Well, I
what are
would.
you gonna? What extra are you gonna give me?
Yeah.
Are you chopping there?
I'm never chopping because I
Neither
don't
am
know.
I.
I don't have a trophy yet.
Don't leave
so
me hanging, girl. High five.
I am.
We're
I am
never.
not. I'm not chopping.
So there you go. We're not chopping. It's official.
She's lovely.
Private joke here.
40.
Okay. 2 minutes 57 seconds to pizza.
Yes.
Well, for you,
Well,
I've got to go. I'm going to go hunt down something to eat.
I
pizza.
bought 2 so we can share.
Oh, my
Sharesies.
Does that mean we're married?
So.
Is it like official then?
So.
When we share pizza. I think you Canadians have got some funny traditions, eh?
Yeah.
I mean, you know, if I eat your pizza, I mean, does that mean I have to forfeit my current wife? I mean, how's that work?
No, no.
Okay,
no, no.
all right, just checking. I don't know what these Edmonton, Alberta people are like. You know, there might be some peculiar rule if you share. It's like bodily fluids, and then it's okay. Then it's safe.
Like
You're safe.
You're
Don't need to wear some sort of pizza protection device or anything.
Nope.
No? Okay, cool.
You're safe. Your wife is safe. Your future grandchildren are safe.
I've got 4 of those, eh?
You have
I
4
have
already?
4 of those.
My goodness.
Big shout out to the grandchildren. We got Matthew and Caitlin, 10 and 8 respectively in Johannesburg, and we've got Ryder and Abby down in Sydney,
1
Australia, 3 and
No
1
kidding?
and a bit
Wow, wow.
respectively. Yeah, so there, grandchildren, big mention.
One is good enough, son.
You know, it's a wonderful thing, grandchildren. I pick them up
Yes.
from school on Fridays. I fill them full of sugar. We run around like headless
And
chickens.
then drop them off at home.
Give them back to my daughter. She said, "What have
Exactly.
you done?" I said, "It's called revenge. Have a nice weekend."
Exactly. I agree.
1 minute.
Well, before we go off air, can I say
You can
hi,
shout out
Dad.
who you want.
Love you. Thank you for being my #1 sponsor, and I look forward to seeing you in a couple weeks.
Go, Dad. And all the people back in Edmonton.
So, yeah. Yes, they are following me, and I look forward to walking into the room with my head a little higher when I get back there, too.
And a little more
So, a
experience.
little bit more experience.
And take a bit of Africa back with you, of course, you know.
Yes.
I hope.
And, you know, from our side, Rhonda, it's absolute pleasure having you here on the stream, #1. #2, and probably more importantly, having you in the game, you know. I've heard so much feedback. You've been giving out free oranges, matchbooks, decks of cards, you know, free pizza, you know. So, you know, what an absolute delight and a, you know, absolute pleasure to have you as a part of the team.
Well,
If
thank you.
only for a short period of time.
Yes.
Please take away that says I want to come back, you know, because that's what people do. It gets in your blood here, eh?
I suggest that I'll be flying back out to Monsterjam. This could become a regular occurrence.
Round a few up.
Yes.
Lasso a few in, bring
Yes.
them along for the ride. Speak to Mark, and I'm sure he's going to cut you a deal on some accommodation for sure.
I
You know,
really think I could bring a couple Canucks back with me next time. So
Okay, but
I'll work on it from my end.
1 more year.
so there's one more hand before the break, and you know, for us, there's nothing better than seeing international players here in South Africa. It's absolutely wonderful. The players will decide themselves whether or not they're going to play another hand. No, that's going to be the end, and we're going to have a break. So, to the viewers back listening to the stream, thank you so much to Rhonda.
Thank you.
You've been great in the booth and a great insight. We're going to take a 15-minute break here. So Gary Allen signing off. Thank you. Keep the stream tuned in, and we look forward to seeing you in about 15-20 minutes. Have a great afternoon. I don't think a drop chip constitutes a call, but there's a call by Mr. Sun out of the big blind, and that is the reason he's calling with Jack 6, because of his commitment in the big blind already.
Flop.
He wants an opportunity to try and win back some of those chips.
Check.
So bottom pair for Mr. Sun, and Divan with the threes will probably bet here to continue the story. And pretty sure if he bets big enough that Mr. Sun will be able to get away from this. So about 120.
125.
125.
Call.
Well, snap call.
Ten.
Brings a king, another stop card.
Check.
Check. Is Divan gonna fire again? I suspect with the flat call, Divan's going to put him on an ace and check it back. Yep. And there's another king. So Mr. Sun's 6 is good. He's checked.
Check.
The only way Divan can win this hand is to bet at it.
Any players who are looking to play the main event set out, there'll be another one starting at 4:15. 1,000 rand gets you in. 4:15, another main event set.
Check.
And it's checked back, and the
Call. Small blind, please. Fold.
okay, we're back live at the 40,000 buy-in, and I am so excited that we've just I've got a guest sat next to me, and I've been trying to get this guy in the booth for a long time. Welcome, Jared Solomon.
How's it, Gary? How's it going?
It's going awesome. I've got so many questions for you, but let's get with the poker first, and let's talk a little bit of poker. We've got Mr. Sun, who you'll be familiar with. You were in this event earlier.
Yes.
He's the chip leader, like the phoenix from the ashes. He's risen.
Oh yeah.
He's just gone on a burn of notes, and he's just taken everybody's money, which is quite interesting to see. Harold Brooks is sitting in second place. Rudolph, who's led all the way through, is now in third. And our shorty is Divan, but he's still fairly deep. You know, he's still at 20, 30 bigs, so you know it's not a big drama. The prizes at the moment sit at 165, 313, 479,000, and 663,000 for the winner. They've just had a break. There was no deal done. There was some talk. The only thing that has been done is 20 has come off first, 10 off second, 5 off third, added to the fourth prize, which makes it 200 to reduce the gap. So they've done that as an unofficial, and Monsterjam will continue to pay the standard prizes.
So still a lot to play for.
Indeed, and the trophy there, of course. I had a brief word with Ivan at the break, and he's certainly not interested in the deal. He's already tied up 200,000, and there's the chip counts for you.
So I mean, quite a nice little mix of players four-handed. Obviously very capable and very good at just changing styles and adapting, and I'm sure there's a lot of dynamic that has already built up. You know, you play a lot of short-handed, and you all of a sudden, you're playing 7, 8 hands with someone in a few hours, whereas like when you're playing 9 or 10 handed, you get to play maybe 2 or 3 pots of them in the same amount of time.
Indeed, indeed. And we've got some characters at the table as well.
Oh yeah.
You got Rudolph, of course, who does have problems shutting up. He will offer an opinion, but it's all in good fun and good humour with Rudolph. Mr. Sun has found his voice since he's got all the talking chips. And of course Uncle Harold is never words in position.
Yeah, I love playing with all these guys. Probably
25.
Devon's actually probably the most boring, and he's, he's
Well,
half
you know,
boring.
he gets my vote for boring as well, but he knows that we're just kidding with him. You know, Devan, very, very good cash player, and nice to see him on the tournament circuit. He is the short stack, but don't write him off, is what I say.
I hate to interrupt you, but there's quite an interesting spot shot for him. Harold raised from the small blind. I'm not sure how many big blinds does Devon have. He's got looks like 1 million.
Yeah, he's got 1 million, and the big blind is sitting at 25,000. Yeah,
The big blind's 25k.
yeah.
Big
Sorry,
blind's
the big
50K.
blind's 50,000. Sorry.
Okay, so yeah, he's got
Yeah.
facing facing open from the small blind. I mean, Harold's
And there's
generally solid.
And there's a big blind ante in play as well, of course. So Divan will already feel like he's committed a lot of chips. You know, that dynamic changes slightly there.
Yeah, but I mean, ace, he's never folding. Yeah, he's gone all in.
And that's a good
I
call,
think he
Joe.
has to,
He's
and
all in, and it's going to be
Harold's
snapped
fold.
off by Harold, of course, immediately. There's going to be no slow roll in here.
I mean, it's not a conventional cooler, but short-handed 20
Yeah,
bigs.
yeah.
This is a cooler.
Yeah, for
Right.
sure.
It's just pretty standard.
What price an ace, sir?
Yeah.
Well, I wish them both luck. We don't like anybody to lose. I mean, Divan is the player at risk. Two more to come. It's 2 outs for Harold. Okay, 1 out to come. On the river.
River.
We'll see.
Okay, so you're not going to jump Geo in the queue then?
No, definitely not. Very excited for him on that note.
Yeah, of course. He's less than a month away now.
Yeah, I mean,
So
I keep saying it, but how he got a girl like that is just the biggest mystery in the world.
I saw your quotes on the social media
can't-
and the touche back,
I
of course,
ca-
because he gets you back very quickly.
Yeah. Is he coming in the booth later? I better be careful what I say.
He's not on the stream. Well, I haven't seen his name pop up,
Alright,
so
okay. Well, in that case, yeah.
we'll give him some carrots while he's away.
In
Somebody
that-
might tell
in
him.
that case, he's punched way above his weight. So well
Yeah,
done to him.
I agree. But what a lovely girl, huh?
Yeah, great shot.
Let's just get back to the poker before we come to subject number 2. Divan with 9-4 here. No, Divan's 2 million now, so he's in the commanding position at this table.
Yeah, so I mean, it looks like here we go. 3.2, 2, 1.7, 1.1. So Harold's the shortest with 22 bigs. I mean, that's not that short, and the rest, everyone 40.
There's no
Howard
danger
was
zone
60.
guys here at the moment.
Not
Nobody
really.
in the danger zone.
Not really.
So quite a bit of play left in the table, I think.
Yeah, but again, this big blind anti-story when it comes to short-handed play, it really changes the style and the gear that you have to be in. I mean, you know, if there's no big blind anti, you could be a little bit more patient. But yeah, you fold for 2 or 3 rotations, and all of a sudden, you know, you've lost a lot of chips.
Yeah, I had Lauren Scott, who you'll know, was in the booth yesterday. And I said to, you know, we talked about when it was the button ante and then it became the big blind ante, etc., etc. And the only complaint was when it's short-handed, because she feels like it's a punishment.
Yeah.
You know, you're still paying for a full table of blinds. So she echoes your sentiments, but for different reasons. You're looking at the chip count. She's just looking at seeing it as unfair.
Yeah.
So Rudolph's
He's limped from the small blind. I mean, I don't mind that. Oh no, he's raised it. to
no, he's raised
125.
it up.
Yeah, I like that.
Now, Mr. Sun has got a propensity for playing small cards offsuit here. I mean, I don't know why. He's got lucky with a lot of these hands.
He's a tricky player. I mean, he can be sticky, and he can also knows how to muck a hand when he needs to. I mean,
I think in the big blind once again affects him here. He's already committed a significant amount of chips, 100,000 to be exact. Yeah, and Rudolph's flopped pretty well here. Huh?
so he's checked. And now he's just going to check back. I don't see how much can go on here. And Rudolph's checked again. Oh, here we go. He can't help himself.
And Rudolph's
He
given him the
literally
speech,
can't
of
help
course,
himself.
as well.
So what are you doing here with Rudolph? You're just gonna call, right?
Oh yeah, you flat.
Call.
Cool. And the river?
The sun
You
is
Rudolph? What are you doing?
I check.
I mean, there it is.
He checks.
River.
Oh, that's a terrible card for Rudolph. He's not
Yeah.
going to get any action. He knows that. Surely Howie knows.
Oh, my word.
My word.
So how much is the re-raise?
And just the snap Howie's chips
Raise.
haven't even hit the deck.
200.
Look at him. He's absolutely.
Rudolph's like, look how strong I was. And Son's thinking, what was I trying to pull there, you
I
know?
mean, well, that was check, bet, shove, fold in about 4 seconds.
Yeah. We like quick tables though,
I
Joe.
mean,
We
yeah,
like
I
quick play.
still like a little bit of time to process what's going on.
Yeah,
That was madness.
So the second big question, well not the second big question, the second big congratulations, 73rd in the World Series of Poker, main event. So you're officially the 73rd best player in the world. That's how it works, no?
I don't think I'd be the 73rd best player in Gaborone, let alone in the world. I mean,
So, you know, there's a lot of people out here listening, and a lot of people are going to tune in afterwards to re-listen to this. They
Yeah.
want to hear the story. They want to hear some facts and figures. They want to hear some experience. So don't give it all to us, but you know, if you can give us a little snapshot in between hands, we
Okay.
really appreciate hearing about it.
so, you know, obviously, I played the main event, I think probably like 8 or 9 times. I'd once made day 4, didn't make the money. But other than that, I'd literally struggled to ever get anything going.
Donkey's gonna win.
Sure.
And yeah, it's just a tournament, you know, where there's so many people that luck just plays such a huge factor.
Raise 125.
Okay.
And you know, it's not just luck over the short term. How he raises a small blind 9-7 like that. It's not just over like a 1 or 2 or 3 days. The luck you need to experience is spread over the course of, in my case, 6 days, but in the eventual final tablists and winners, it's 9 days of luck, which is
Unbelievable.
It's mad to fathom that. Obviously, you'll have a day or 2 where things don't go your way, but for the most part, I mean, you have all this luck compressed into this week or, you know, this period in your poker career, and there's no way to explain it. You'll never experience it any other way, because everyone knows what it feels like to run hot and have things work out in a tournament of a day or maybe a session even.
Yeah.
But over such a long period, it's incredible. So yeah, so for the first 8 or 9 things, I never had any luck, and now I played this year, and yeah, I mean, things just happened for me. I had one bad day on day 2.
Yeah.
Raise 150.
But then on day 3 I grinded, got it in with ace 10 against ace king. I rivered at 10, and I never looked back.
Okay, we'll jump back to that conversation in a second. I mean, we're all hanging on every word here, by the way, because you're living the dream for us, you know. Uncle Harold's woke up with the hooks here, and Highway's already raised 150 with the 7s.
And how he's going to probably call him off here. I mean, I'd be shocked if he folds. He's got 7s on the button. We're 4-handed. Harold's moved all in for $1 million. And Howie just lost that pot with 6-4.
And Harold's been caught a couple of times today.
So yeah, I
with his hand in the pot.
I haven't seen, but I mean, I just think that this is. I don't think it's standard. I mean, nothing's really ever standard, even though that word gets thrown around a lot. But
Yes, sir.
it's hard to just fold this.
Call.
That's it.
And there's the call.
And Harold's jacks.
Oh, yeah.
Mr. Sun does his little sing-song, which is normal for him, and that is standard.
Yeah.
And we're going to go off, and we're going to see the 5 cards. Obviously, Harold is
He
a strong
deserves.
favourite.
He deserves to hold up. Yeah. You can't lose the 70% and then lose the 80%.
Okay, that's a safe block. 2 outs remaining for Mr. Sun.
10.
It's hard enough as it is.
And no real sweats coming, nothing, so he's drawing to 2 outs on the river.
And that's it. So I mean,
720.
This
720
is a nice little merry-go-round we got going on here.
No,
It's fun for everyone, fun for the viewers. Probably not fun for some of the players, but the tournament goes on four-handed, and the chips are getting moved around in quite an interesting way.
Yeah, I mean, something will break the ice eventually.
Look at that.
but Look at the
I
percentages.
mean, that's crazy. Like,
It's time to hit the pause button and cut the cake, huh?
wow, ridiculous. Pretty much all tied up. Everyone with like, what's that, 40 bigs? I mean,
Yeah.
this is a nice spot to be watching.
400, I got to pay.
Indeed.
How can I afford?
So I'm taking you back to Las Vegas. Were you aware of the support that you had coming from South Africa?
You actually gave me goosebumps when you said that. Like, I had the shivers. It was.
I was one of the trolls, buddy. So
It was crazy, honestly.
really?
Like, I mean, people
Hy
like
hy's
you
afgehaal
and
met
like
as jy weer nou.
just people that I would never think, like people that I've never met and stuff, and like, come
Is it
day
even
4
was it
or like after I bagged on day 4, and all of a sudden just started getting messages and phone calls, and I was like, wow, this is a big deal. Like, you know, people are really behind me. People really wanted me to do well. And then the next thing, I'm through day 5 and I bagged, and I mean, it was chaos. I had to sign out of my phone. I just couldn't handle it anymore. I was feeling just too overwhelmed by
wow.
just everyone just being behind me, and like feeling a little bit of pressure. You know, normally I just play for myself, and like I'm used to that, but it felt like I was like playing for South Africa to an
Yeah,
extent.
and for the viewers at home, I mean, I'm sat looking at Jared here, and he's actually feeling it now. I can see
Yeah,
in your
no,
eyes and
no,
in
for
your
sure.
face. I mean,
Was-
you were emotionally moved by the support of the South African poker community and your friends and family and all the rest of it. I mean, I belong to maybe 7 or 8 different poker groups in the Johannesburg region,
Yeah.
and they were going mad. Every single group with updates, people getting snapshots of your face and
Wow.
stuff. It was unbelievable.
So that's
In fact, I think I've deleted more photographs of you on my WhatsApp images than anybody else. And,
Yeah,
and
I mean-
I jest you not, you know, it was really that hectic. And every little game I went to, I play 4 or 5 days a week. Have you seen Jared? Have you seen Solly?
Crazy.
Did you see? And it was the topic of conversation.
yeah. Look, I mean, when I was in it, and like at the end of every day, it wasn't like any other tournament. I would go home and I'd speak to obviously my girlfriend and like my family.
And your
And-
mum, of course.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
Like, she's
you're a
like
great
always
supporter.
been my biggest fan. And I'd just sit there and I'd just be like, this is nuts. This is incredible. I can't believe I'm going through this. I can't believe I'm experiencing this. And like, you're doing all of that, but at the same time, you still got a job at hand. You still want to try. You want to go all the way. You know, you're not
Jeepers,
done.
the biggest
you know?
tournament of your life,
course.
going as steep as you've ever been, you know.
Yeah.
And you got us all of us loonies wanting you to give us time, you know.
It
And
was
but
very,
it was
very
for the
special.
right reasons, of course.
Of course.
you know.
I didn't feel like there was any jealousy or like anything like that. People were really rooting for me. Here's Harold with 7s under the gun.
And we're going to see a move from Harold. I fancy something around 150.
See.
Race.
I mean, no one's really gotten too out of line here. Everything's been kind of like, because we haven't seen any real fancy tricks or flicks. I mean, not that these guys aren't capable. And then he takes it down.
Yeah.
I mean,
And it's under the gun, bet 175,000, which is over the pot. You're showing a lot of strength there. So, you know, these guys, if they've got nothing, they're going to fold. But having said that, and we were just speaking about it before you came in, you know, these marginal hands that you may or may not have called, but they're so much more valuable short-handed.
100%. And like, you know, it's interesting you say that, because now, you know, he comes in with that strong raise size, and all of a sudden people who potentially would have hands that would call a smaller raise size, let's say the ace rags and I don't know, maybe the king 5 suited, the hands that 7s would have in bad shape are just more likely going to be binning them. So there's a case for, you know, do you try get more value from these not so premium hands, just marginal hands, and not just want to take down the blinds and antes? I don't know. It's a tough one.
Yeah, no, I think, you know, you've got to be sat at the table, you've got to try and understand the players, what sort of rhythm, you know, the flow of the game and all that sort of stuff. And those are all factors that are difficult to pick up just watching, you know.
Oh yeah.
You know, I mean, I've sat for the last, best part of 6 hours watching these guys.
I love this from Howie. I mean, he just limps the small and just stabs the ace, queen, jack. I mean,
Your hand.
He's called Divan got lucky.
And he's been doing a lot of that, trust me.
yeah, I mean, it's
But it's working for him, you know, and you know, and until he gets challenged, he's going to carry on doing it.
Yeah. I mean, like you say, I mean, these guys have been going at this for a while, so there's probably some stuff that they picked up on, or the rhythm, or what have you, that...
Yeah, I mean, it's quite intense. I mean, 3 of them are quite intense, and Rudolph always looks to me like he's on his holidays. You know? In fact, normally he's got his chair the other way around and his feet up, you know.
Yeah.
But that's his style, you know, and he just loves the game. I mean, I've seen him running between tournaments across corridors, you know, this guy.
Yeah.
I mean, just for the love of the game.
He really loves it. All these guys love it. Oh, we all love it. What am I saying?
Yeah.
But Rudolph's a real sucker. He proper loves playing, and he just...
We just show it.
How we Jack now on the button.
Right there.
I'd like to see an open here. I'm sure he's going to.
So Kevin Khalil, who was in here earlier, said to me that Jack 9 is Lebanese aces. I have no idea how it gets to that.
I've heard that before.
Yeah, I've never found an explanation,
125?
but he insists, so we'll just leave it at that. Harold 6-5 off, 100 grand a call in the small, not going to get out of the way. Devan's already invested here in the big
here
blind
we
with
go.
ace king. So let's see, what do you fancy from Devan here?
So it's definitely a re-raise.
Yeah, for
I
sure.
mean, the question is size. I mean,
250 in the pot.
so I mean, I'm thinking 3x, maybe to 375, maybe generally like might be a bit smaller.
Bet fold? Or you think Howie's going to get a...
Howie's sticky. Personally, I don't love the idea of flatting Jack 9 offsuit to a re-raise. But it is Devan. I mean, this guy doesn't always have it, you know. So sometimes, sometimes you think you can just.
You're not the first
take a
person
flop
to
and
say
do
that,
some-
by the way.
Yeah, I'm sure.
I
mean,
love this guy, though. You know, he's such a
he's
great guy to
he's
be
great.
around.
He's
Always
great.
fun, you know.
and in my opinion, I genuinely believe he's the best no limit player in the country.
Really?
I play
That's
a lot
high
of
praise, huh?
I play a lot of cash with him. I mean, tournaments, he's improved a lot. He's found like other gears to his game, but strictly cash, live cash, there's no one better. He's seriously good.
Well, so you heard it here. Stay away from Devan. Well, it's high praise, Jeff, and you know, I'm sure the compliment is would be well received by Devan if he watches the stream back.
So what was the 3-bet to there? It looks like
195.
Yeah, that's right. He just basically min re-raised
Yes,
Howie.
that's exactly what he's done.
Flop.
And he's called.
That's very interesting.
Yep.
Here we
So
go.
here we go. Sun gets the best of it. And you know, what's Devan putting Mr. Sun's range? Has he got a 9 in his range? Has he got a 6?
I think he knows, especially with that 3-bet size, that his range is literally whatever he was opening with. He's flatting the 3-bet. I mean, it's tough for Devan to just like.
He has to continue.
He's got
yeah.
a C-bet.
Yeah, he's got to continue here.
But I don't think he's just going to take off this Howie. I mean,
As you said, Mr. Sun, old Howie, he gets stickier, and he's got
Yeah.
top pair here, so he's, you know,
Yeah.
in his mind he'll be doing well. The only way he gets away is if Howie puts him on an overpair, and that's what he's repping, of course.
yeah.
Bet.
Devan's
285.
3-bet, very interesting pre-flop.
285, so around about half size, half the pots. And he's not even hesitating, this guy.
Yeah, he's not even.
He's carving out chips, and they
that's
look like
that-
raising
that
chips.
doesn't look like a call.
Raise.
They look like raising. Devan's got to fold. I don't think Devan's hero calling here for 1 second.
It's a raise size too. I'd love to know how he's thinking. We might not get to see it, but I mean, generally, in these raise to 415. I mean,
So the pot's at 1.2 million though, Joe. This is
yeah,
pivotal,
but
huh?
these sizes look a bit to me. I mean, Devan can't bet 285 and get raised to 415, but yeah. It would be interesting to know what Howie's plan is here. Generally, you know, when you
415.
when you try to get involved in a hand and start considering betting and barreling and everything, you like to have a relative plan. So is he raising with the intention of getting it in? Is he raising with the intention of shutting down if Devan calls? Is he raising with the intention of folding if Devan shoves?
I think we got our graphics, the technical guys, we got our graphics
And
the wrong
Devan.
way around here.
Devan just spins it.
Yeah, and he pins it. So,
What is the pre-flop?
and you know,
Raise, re-raise, call.
Hawaii's been running so good against Ivan. So I think he might be seeing a few ghosts there as well, you know.
The pre-flop.
And it is possible. I'm playing for a lot of money now, of course.
I raised 125.
So let's take you back to Las Vegas, where we're having a little bit of a break here.
If I
So,
was in the hand,
you know,
we all in.
when you start, you're in flight 1, was it flight 2, or what was it? So day 1A, day
I
1B,
played day 1C.
day 1C.
Yeah.
So there's a little gap between day 1 and
Yeah.
day 2.
No, you
Gap
bet.
between, yes, gap,
mean
and
over.
then, yeah, that was it.
Exposed
And,
queen, three of diamonds,
you
and
know,
I dropped to the colours.
that day 1, I remember playing it and then just telling the people that, you know, obviously had pieces in me that I was like, this is the first time that I'd ever experienced some proper run good in the tournament. And like, I keep referring to this luck factor, and obviously luck plays a part, but you still got to play solidly and play decently. But the connection is when you are running a bit better and everything, and you are turning over hands, it makes it so much easier to bet and to bluff and to make these plays, because people are a little bit wary of you. If you just keep turning up with, you know, bluffs and just mucking your cards, I mean, people are just going to think you're always at it and always bluffing, and then you actually have to make hands to get chips.
So talking fundamental level, maintaining that image is very, very important, and demonstrate important. That's what you're saying to the
Everything.
to the uneducated listening on the stream. We got a lot of parents and family listening as well. So just to unpack that a little bit more, you know, sitting at a poker table, you know, it's okay. You might have a good reputation coming in, but the truth is, you've got to demonstrate that at times as well.
Wow, look at this.
So Harold flops a
It's
monster.
gone auto check, and that's just going to slow everything down.
Yeah, unfortunately. And the good news is for Mr. Sun, he doesn't have any hearts.
Love me, I don't have a heart, but I got a very nice hand.
How is that? I thought how he played that.
Very good man. You got the heart.
This is a waking, but
You
And Harold
see?
shows in the news.
Yeah, so back to the image. I mean, like,
Rudolph, look at it. Peaceably
I place so much emphasis, you know, I don't ever want to be, you know, obviously in South Africa it's a bit different. People know you and they've generally played with you, and everyone knows a little bit about your game. But you know, when you step into the international pool and there's so many people,
Son, you
Mr.
call
Nobody.
us of 8, 9.
Exactly.
How can you
So
talk
I don't want to
about
sit there and be this young kid, this angry man who's just coming in and raising and bluffing and like people cross at me and want to play back at me. I'm happy to just sit there, just mind my own business and just, you know, turn up. I've got top pair, top kick up. Do you call? Okay, you call me. And just have it, you know. It's obviously you can't always have it, but more often than not, it will make your life a lot easier if you have a good hand most of the time and you throw in a bluff every now and then.
For sure.
As Queen Jack, but I got the Queen.
Oh, what's going on here? We've lost our graphics.
Whatever I've had.
There we go.
Oh, so Harold's 8-4 under the gun. That's in the muck. 8-6 for Divan on the button.
So
Fancy,
that's why I said my record
Has it been limped? Oh, it's been folded around, so down to the blinds.
It's come true.
Rudy's completing here. And what's Mr. Sun got? Okay, we're going to see a flop. Some junk for both of them.
Everybody, even me. On an ace, king,
Queen high
board,
currently ahead. So Rudolph picks off a 5 there, middle pip. And he bets, and there'll be a fold here, I suspect.
I'm not bluffing. Can I show? You want to see?
I mean, these guys are literally on best friend terms. I wouldn't be surprised if they literally sleep at each other's houses every now and then, showing each other hands, having a laugh.
It's incredible, isn't it? And
Great.
this is a high roller, you
Yeah, it's
know.
great.
But you know, it's been a nice attitude all the way through, and from a viewer point of view, it's been actually quite fun. There's been a lot of chit chat. I mean, when we were on the Stone Cold bubble, it was hectic, and Kenny Morgan went out on the bubble,
Yeah.
and it was an all-in hand with Divan. I don't remember the exact hand, but you can look it back later. So we're back in Las Vegas. You're walking into the Amazon room. There's
Yeah.
like 2,000 people there. What's the atmosphere? I mean, it must be deafening with just the chips and the chatter.
Yeah, I mean it's crazy. The sound of the chips and just the hustle and bustle in there is any aspiring poker player needs to just put it on their bucket list just to go out there and just to check it. I mean, it really is something that I'd highly recommend experiencing. And there's something for everyone. You can play different size tournaments, cash games, sit and goes, different formats, everything. Rudolph opens the button here. Is Howie? He's raised to 120. Looks like Howie just called.
I don't like the smooth call out of the small blind with ace check. I don't like that at all.
Me neither. But you know, I don't think I've seen. I mean, he raised the one small blind. Rudolph really hasn't done much. No one's really gotten 2 out of line.
I think you're right. It's all a bit friendly. They should be sat around a campfire just swapping stories.
Yeah,
You
I
know?
agree. So we 3-way. All 40 blinds effective. And Rudolph's outflopped them all.
Yeah.
Ah, must see who's he.
Rudy's got middle pair, ace kicker,
50 to call.
on the button. So let's see if anybody's going to put some chips in for him.
Look at that hand, even.
Does he show this? Does he show the middle pair? Like it's the nuts, like he's acting? No. I don't have anything. Just don't even look. So yeah, so the electricity is insane, and you know that I always said throughout my times of never doing anything in the main event, I always just said I just want to experience the electricity of being there and the whole feel of, you know.
I've spoken to a lot of the players who played in Vegas this year and previous years, and they also say they don't actually just go there to play in WSOP, you know, down at the area and places like that. There's so many tournaments going on. There's something for everybody. It's almost like a buffet of poker across Vegas.
Absolutely nuts. There are probably around 10 to 12 series going on at the time at any day. That's a tournament in 12 different casinos, different stakes. Sometimes 3 tournaments in a casino.
Yeah, you gambling now.
That's unreal, huh? So we've got 3 players in the mix here. So it looks like Rudolph has raised 120 with his Jack-9 suited. Huawei has called on the button. Harold has also called with his 10-9. And Devon's got out the way. So we're 3-way to a flop here by the look of it. Rudolph first to act, already checks in the dark. Don't like that either.
Did he raise pre and then check them off?
Yeah.
Oh,
I have no idea what he's doing.
The lesser spotted.
Yeah.
Who's going to win this hand?
Check.
Checked around.
Oh my word.
I really want to see who can nick this pot.
This is very friendly.
No one wants any of it.
Someone's got a bet here. Here comes Harold. Come on. Oh, Mr. Sun's not going to let us down.
I mean, it looks like Howie's the most active and the most willing to, you know, just bet, bluff, steal.
Well, they're giving him plenty of spots, eh?
Yeah, I guess they're not making it too hard for him. But still, he's still got to be willing to just, you know, flick the chips in there and try to rob these people.
So, another question for you. I know there were a lot of South Africans in Las Vegas during the period of the WSOP. Did you spend any time with the guys? Did you get to meet any of the guys? Was there any team spirit there? Was there any railing?
So obviously I spent a lot of time with MJ, Mark Joseph. I also spent quite a bit of time with Eugene.
Yeah.
You know, a few times. Obviously, him and I are often in Vegas, and generally just the two of us. You know, him and I, we spend quite a bit of time together. This year we agreed no more of this tongue-in-cheek stuff, and we literally just picked each other's brains and just spoke hands all the time and tried to just get a drift of what people were doing out there, how things have changed, what the best styles were.
Well, it was obviously helpful, conducive.
Yeah, definitely. No, definitely. I mean, I said to him, you know, even after the main, I was like, thank you, thank you for letting us have that, and, you know, yeah, it was great.
Top player as well,
of course.
yeah. and a good as well.
Yeah, I mean, he's a little bit misunderstood, and he's irritated me up the hill in my life, like I'm sure a lot of people, but he's not a bad egg. I like Eugene.
No, I've run into Eugene around the world as well, so, you know, he's a top man. I've got a lot of time for Eugene and a lot of time for his game, and it was interesting watching him play here earlier today, of course. I mean, he went out a little bit earlier, but So
The 10 I got a straight draw, so don't.
you didn't meet up with any of the other
So,
guys?
so yeah, I saw the other guys. Obviously, I'm always at the Rio and stuff, but you know, I mean, I'm
I
ve-
actually think it's counterproductive to spend too much time having
I've-
fun when
I've-
you're
I've-
focused
I've
on your
done,
game.
I've done that stuff, you know. I've been to Vegas. I've
Weet jy
I've
wat, Tine?
literally I've done the parties. I've done the dinners. I've done the shows.
Mhm.
Now I travel 3.5 weeks here. The dollar's through to one. I'm getting a Big Mac meal. It's costing me 250, 300 rand.
Yeah.
Like my time's valuable. I want to really try use it to make money. And not that I wouldn't love to go grab a drink and spend my time with the South Africans, you know. Or there was great guys out there. Dobby was out there. Carl was out there.
Yeah, sure. Renier.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw them all. Yeah, I saw all their feeds.
And I mean, I would have loved to, but like I'm there. My time's limited, and I'm happy to just grind and get as much.
Yeah, and I
on with
think
the
for the
table.
people listening on the stream, there's something to be gained from that. You know, if you're going to go party, go party.
Oh
If
yeah.
you're going to go grind. You don't have to become a hermit, but at the same time, you've got to focus. You've got to prepare yourself. You've got to eat healthy, sleep healthy,
Yeah, for sure.
mentally prepare yourself, and
Sure.
don't rock up with a headache 40 minutes late.
We've got an interesting hand, yeah.
I don't want to raise.
So looked like Rudolph limped and Howie's raised jacks.
The king might slow
And
them
he just
down.
takes it
There you
down.
go. Straight off.
And now he shows. I love that. I've robbed for 6 rotations in a row, but I've always had a look. I only play
Yeah.
with jacks.
Yeah, I've always
Very
had it.
nice, Howie. Very good.
Very nice. So preparation's the key. You know, I'm asking you questions about your own preparation now because there's lots of people out there that are now aspiring to be like you. You
Yeah,
know,
well-
you are now a role
Well,
model,
first,
like it or not.
First
You
and
know?
foremost, don't do that. Don't try be like me, whatever you do. Trust me. Trust me. But yeah, I think routine and like with anything you take seriously in life, I mean, you want to be in the best possible state of body, state of mind that you can be. I mean, even at our local tournaments, you're playing 10-hour days.
Sure.
Yeah, people are happy to just go out drinking, gambling the whole night, and you know what? By all means, you must still.
Your results are going to suffer for it, though.
Listen, I've seen some guys, they rock up here with 1 hour sleep and they still manage to go deep. But yeah, when you start talking for like playing at tournaments for a week or two at a time,
And
eventually it's
$10,000
gonna catch up.
invested, by the way.
Exactly. Yeah,
You know,
so
that's a
it's
serious amount of
a
change.
lot of money.
That's a lot of money, especially with the dollar exchange, as you
Yeah.
say. You know, so in terms of, let's just watch this flop first.
Oh, that's pretty nice.
Yeah.
Rudolph's limped the button, yeah. I don't mind limping short-handed. He's
Puts
yeah.
a little feeler bet here.
And Harold's
Wat
called.
het jy swaar?
What card are we looking for, yeah?
Harold's gut shotting here. That's nobody's help.
You make a call it with 2, 5, or 3.
Harold's actually calling for cards here. He's almost telling Rudy's what he's got.
Je moet gewoon mijn kaart.
Ja.
Dan behoort het je te betalen.
Can we get some subtitles, please?
Ek sou wys.
Maar ik zeg, als je gewoon mijn kaart, dan behoort het je te betalen.
So,
Yeah, I
apart
could
from the
luck
main
it,
event, and we'll come back to that later, did you play any of the other WSOPs?
Yeah, so I played a bunch of events. I played about 13 altogether.
Money out.
And, I got there the first 10 days. I just didn't play well enough at all. And then the next 10 days I actually played really, really well, and I just couldn't catch a break.
Okay.
And I was defeated. Like, I literally looked to change my flight, missed the main event, go home early.
Ek het met kak gespeel, ek het lekker geflop.
I voted 4-6.
Big fold.
So, what changed? What
Um,
made you stay?
So what actually happened was I had a interesting thing. I played an event where I was 10 away from the money, played a huge pot, like 3 times average. Got it in good, landed up losing, went and played a sit and go, $4,800 or $4,600 on the line. I got heads up. I had the guy 12,500 to his 2,500 chips, and it's winner takes all. So he said, let's make a deal. And I just didn't see there was any way I could lose. And I was like, I offered the guy $500. He was rightfully offended. And I played him and I lost to him. And that was it for me. I was a broken man. Vegas had defeated me. And I'd never ever felt it. And I just wanted out. I just wanted to go home, be with my friends and family, and just just give it up. And sometimes in life, not just in poker, you have to actually get broken and almost rebuilt. I mean, it sounds kind of...
I know exactly what you're talking about. So
in order to become a better version of yourself, you need to almost, just remake yourself. It's... I don't know, I'm not trying to be like...
in order to live well, you've got to be willing to die, is I think the quote
yeah,
that
I guess so. That's
at the real sharp
it.
end. And yeah.
and
So you were down and broken.
yeah, I was a broken man, and if I could have gotten a flight for $300 or $400 to change my existing ticket, I would have been out of there. But it was like $1,600, and I couldn't justify it. And then the next morning, I woke up and I was back at another tournament. I bust that tournament, back to another tournament, and then I started playing sit and goes, started winning sit and goes. Then I was playing the main event. I was playing well, and the next thing, there I was, day 6, and it's all to play for.
No longer broken.
Yeah, I'm
No longer broken.
I couldn't wait to go back to Vegas. So what's happened here? It looks like Rudolph has raised
120, 70 to call for
King Deuce
Divan.
under the gun.
Divan's in the big as well. And I think Divan's in the tank here. Yeah, he's going to make a call. Just the 2 players left in the hand, so we're going to see the flop.
Flop.
Okay, Divan's ahead with his ace.
Check.
Check, check.
Let's see who wins this hand now.
Divan's still got the lead.
Check.
I mean, there is a gut shot there for his king, Rudy.
River.
And the only way Divan loses is if he folds.
Shoulda.
It's Devon's.
Okay, so Divan takes it with the ace high.
Get alles gemist.
Alles gemist. I know
So
that
we're all excited to know. Did you get to meet anybody famous and play on any famous tables?
I think I played with Esfandiari for a little bit.
I saw that on the stream actually. That was
Yeah, he's a really entertaining guy. I mean,
Really?
the media just lap him up, and it's well deserved. He is not a laugh a minute, but he is entertaining. You can literally just listen to the guy speak.
and a professional magician, I believe.
Yeah, I tried to make some small talk and ask him if he liked magic. He wasn't really interested in what I had to say. But
Might have been the accent. I didn't understand
maybe,
you.
maybe.
So you got to play with a magician.
Yeah, I played with a magician. I don't think anyone else.
I know
actually.
2018 you spent some time in the Grano on a table, in one of the smaller
Yeah.
tables.
Yeah, and the Granu, I don't know. I don't like to talk badly about people. I didn't enjoy.
Okay, well don't talk badly about him then.
Sorry, sorry.
Most people list him as their favourite player because he's just a good old guy. But
Yeah,
you know,
fair
once you get close up and personal, maybe it changes. Who
Yeah,
knows?
of course.
Maybe we don't want you to get starstruck. I mean, and maybe that was part of the route that you were supposed to take. Not get starstruck, not get stuck on these tables with these big guys. Maybe that helped you.
Look, I mean, when I was a youngster, I used to see these guys, and I used to literally take pictures of them and
Yeah, for sure.
tell my friends, I saw Men the Master today, and I saw this one today. I mean, these guys are famous, and
But human.
they play a game of cards.
They all
You
put
know,
their
they play a
underpants on
game
the
of-
same way, you know.
Exactly, they play a game of cards, and if any of us were to play with them, we'd be able to beat them in hands and hold our own, and it's just a game of poker, these are guys aren't like movie stars and Ronaldo, Messi, like they're just poker players. And
So I hope you don't mind me drilling you a little bit.
No,
but
it's all
this will
good.
probably save about 50 conversations. You know that, don't you? So you. Advantage to you.
I love chatting about it.
And people want to hear, of course, your story. I mean, if you had poker players, we always remember the good and the bad beats. Pick out a couple of hands for us in the World Series that were pivotal for you, or maybe at least one. Where the chips may be in, or maybe you just made the right move, or whatever.
Let's see. So I had one interesting hand where I'd gotten my stack up to about 3 million, and I think blinds were 20k, 40k, and I got ace king in the cutoff. I'd been pretty tight. I raised to 90,000. the button, who had been there for maybe a rotation, made it 240 with about 800 behind. I moved all in, and he snap called with aces. I've ace king, the board ran out 3, 5, 10, turn jack, river, queen. But the interesting thing isn't how I won the hand. I've never in my life seen someone slam the table, throw their chair, and then go and headbutt the wall. That was literally went and headbutted the wall. It was a combination I'd never seen when it comes to temper. I was really impressed. I was like,
Top
well
man.
done. Well
10 out of 10 for
good
temper.
good for you, honestly. But yeah, I mean, it was pretty deep as well, so I think maybe.
I mean, you know, we expect that from the poker brat and that sort of crap, but so this guy's headbutting the wall. Is he like an American guy, British?
Yeah, American guy, and I was shocked. I mean, I was laughing, and someone at the table says, yeah, he always takes beats badly or something, so.
Well, it's a bit extreme, huh?
Yeah, I mean, just throw the chair, but leave the wall alone. You know?
Did he get a penalty? I mean, right, he's out of
No,
the
he's
tournament,
out of the
but did he get spoken to?
Nah, that was it. I
No escort off the premises or anything. Okay, so how he's raising...
Small blind, raising into Harold. And Harold defends the jack 4. I've been impressed with Howie. I mean,
He's been pretty active.
he's
I
been
think the most
man.
active.
He's been active.
I mean, Divan's sitting over there ready to snipe. I mean, he's not really playing a lot of hands. Okay,
Wow.
so this is a nice flop for Howie again.
Great flop.
And of course, Harold's got the up down here, so it's going to keep him around for a little while.
Yeah, he'll definitely call. I mean,
200.
oh wow, here we go. Oh, that's not good.
No.
Oh no, that's not good. I don't mind this play from Harold, to be honest. I mean, like, he's just run into the worst case scenario for him.
Yeah.
But if Howie, let's say, even had, I don't know, king 10 or ace 10 or anything, you'd have decent equity, you know, probably around 40% or.
Is there a fold from Howie here? Can he find a fold
I
here?
don't see Howie ever folding here.
Okay.
I mean, this is like,
He doesn't put Uncle Harold on Jack Queen or something.
I think he's got to rule out Jack Queen with the just
pre-flop.
auto shove. I mean, if he maybe was a bit more deliberate, or maybe he re-raised smaller, but just the snap shove, Jack Queen. What chips are we talking with here? So it's $1 million. I mean, it's for half of how we stack. I mean, it's not a dream spot.
I mean, it is possible that Uncle Harold has flopped the joint here. It is
You
possible.
can't rule it out.
Jack and nine.
Wow, it's a big fold. That's a big fold from Howie. What a play from Harold. What a play from Harold. That's gonna.
Yeah, we're tapping the table. We're tapping the table.
Watch the wall. Watch the wall. He might do it. He might do it. He might do it.
If he headbutts that wall, he's going to come through here.
Oh no, Howie's. That's a great play from Harold.
It's a WTF moment for Howie.
Yeah.
And Harold has got a little smile on his face. You
Yeah.
see that? Like a naughty little boy.
At first he just showed the jack, and then he just knew he'd get a lot of joy from throwing the 4 out there as well.
You know, Mr. Sun doesn't tilt. Well, I've not seen him tilt yet, so let's see. He might be under a bit of pressure here.
I don't know. Maybe like wow.
Could someone send somebody to wake Rudolph up? By the way,
What is he?
he's fast asleep.
Fallen asleep at the table.
I think so. I think he's away. I think he's gone.
Oh, there,
Oh, there we go. He's
got
awake.
him,
He's
got him
awake.
there. Might not be for long, so talk to him quickly.
Pass him the hairbrush quick. He's on TV. Divan's just sitting there thinking, what is going on here? Just give me some cards. Let me deal with these people. Dear. So we've had the headbutting hand. Let's have the hand where you made some chips.
So let's see.
Yo, my divers, Mr. Sun, I don't know how you fold.
Then I mean, all these hands are boring because I mean, I just really had it, and
So Boris, come on,
so
your public is out there listening.
I think blinds were maybe 10k, 20k. I raised to 45,000 under the gun. It goes call under the gun +2, call middle position, call cutoff, call button.
Sure.
So I'm looking at going probably 6 ways with aces, and then
6 ways.
yeah, and then the big blind, and the big blind squeezes, and I'm just like, it's just literally the dream. And I'm thinking, okay, well, I'm happy to just take this pot down. I probably had about 800k at the time.
Right. Day 3, day 4?
This was about day 4.
Yeah. A nice flop here. Sorry, Divan's just picked up his queen here.
Oh wow.
How are we doing here?
This is going to get interesting because
Divan has sniffed this out, I'm sure.
yeah, Divan's never folding this.
Everybody's money will jump again.
Does Howie have a second bullet in him? If he picks up a club, maybe. Okay.
Check. River.
No split.
So Divan can't lose the hand unless he folds.
I imagine a betcha and imagine a pretty big one from Divan. You know how he either has an ace or he has nothing, and
Fairly polarized is
Yeah.
what you're saying. Yeah.
so
What sort of size do you think he's coming in with here?
well, it looks like there's 600k in the pot.
Yeah.
I'm thinking around definitely over 50-60%.
Okay.
It looks under half the lot.
Hey, fold.
And now we just snap folded.
Okay. Cool.
I said fold.
So yeah, so we went 6-way, big blind squeezes. I've got aces, and we get it in, and he's got kings, and I hold up. And this is the kind of luck I was just referring to. You know, it's just like dream thing really.
Wow. And you know that adrenaline, you know, the old adrenal glands are pumping it out, huh?
Yeah, I know for sure.
That's pretty awesome. So, when you got off the plane back in South Africa, I mean, the trip back must have been a big smiley one, eh? Did you sit up front? Did you treat yourself?
So no, I didn't.
Come on,
I
we need
didn't.
a good story here.
No. Yeah, I mean, it was a mixed bag for me. You know, you can't help but like it was actually probably my best experience, probably my biggest achievement. Like all these great things, but it was without doubt the most disappointed I'd ever been. You know, you get so close to life-changing money where your entire life will be changed forever.
Sure.
And you're so close. You're so close. And
You can touch it. You can feel it.
And then you just start second guessing yourself, like thinking about things you could have done differently or things that just didn't go your way. You know?
Yeah. Did you actually play against any of the final table guys?
Yeah, I played with a few of them.
Yeah.
So the guy that came 9th or 8th, his name was Milos. He's a Serbian guy. Very interesting guy.
Yeah.
What's going on here?
Let's go up down for Divan. Divan is it bets, and it's a fold from Rudy with his king 6.
So yeah, the Serbian guy is very interesting. He'd had a huge amount of success in poker, and it's all within the last like 3 or 4 years. Pretty new to the scene, and he was just a really sick player.
Sure.
And you know, he's also quite funny. He was just chatting, and he was telling us how sometimes he likes to drink when he's playing poker, and telling us how he'd once gotten so drunk he'd passed out at the final table of an event. I was like, wow,
That's up there with headbutting walls, I
yeah.
think.
I mean, I haven't heard of that very often.
Oh my word, that's unbelievable. Well, you'll be pleased to know that our viewing figures are the highest they've been for a long time.
Oh really?
So,
I swear, I was listening in my room to you, and I was like, this guy's really good.
I tell you, I went to a game in Joburg the other day, doesn't matter where, and this lady greeted me. It was a team event,
Yeah.
so you may probably guess where it was.
Okay.
And she said, "Geez, I know you." And I said, "I'll never forget her face, ever." But half an hour later, comes back. She taps me on the shoulder. She said, "You're the Pommy voice on Monsterjam Poker."
Hey.
So obviously got a face for radio, huh?
No. Listen, you good at this. I mean, you
man.
commentate almost as well as you play. That's the truth.
Well, that's high praise, eh? I need to run that back and just make sure I've got that on my phone.
Wow. Oh my word.
OMG.
Yeah.
OMG. Here we go.
So it's been raised from the button by Devan. Rudolph's called, and there is no ways that the chips don't all go in here.
You know, Rudolph's got Huey, Louie, and Dewey's on the flop.
And he's chatting away. I'll be so impressed if he gets away from this. I really will.
I check.
I'd like to see Divan size up here. I mean,
Rudy's already got the lock on the hand, though. He's
oh,
already
sorry,
won the hand.
Divan,
He's drawing
sorry.
dead.
Oh wow, I thought it was the other way around.
Yeah. He's already got the lock on the hand.
So yeah, so then we reverse that. I'd be very impressed to see Divan get away from this. I mean, I know it's only king with a jack kicker, but I mean, there's not a lot of hands he really loses to. You know,
No.
can't give him ace king. Hard to give him sevens.
And Rudy's tell is the snap call and the chat.
Yeah,
Tell
but
him, trust me.
yeah, but
there's not,
Rudolph's-
you know, the alarm bells have got to go off for Divan here, surely.
River.
He's played it very nasty. I mean, I know it's a cooler, but the 3 checks.
So Divan's obviously put him on a misdraw of some description here.
It's hard to give him a misdraw. I mean, king 7-2 rainbow,
yeah, so
but
it's rubbish, isn't it, really?
so I mean, he's got some kings, and he's got, I guess, some sevens, maybe some 7x of hearts. But I don't know if you can just check back here. It just seems so tough.
Yeah, ace 7 suited, maybe like king 9 suited, those sort of
Yeah.
hands, maybe.
He's got to think he's got the best hand here. It's a great line from Rudolph.
Well, Rudolph must be licking his lips there. Huh?
Yeah, he's got dollar bags in his eyes. Look at that. Oh, he's gonna drool on the table. Someone get him a serviette.
At least he's awake. But trust me, I mean, yeah, obviously he's shoving here.
Will it be the snap or the 2 second later? Snap. Absolute snap.
I think he said all in.
No, he called.
Yeah. And that, they say, is that we'll have a count, but I'm pretty sure that Divan was at risk there.
No, you just say you bet and
Oh, you bet and called,
and
sorry.
Rudolph just snap called.
Okay.
I mean, like, I love how Rudolph, you know, checks all 3 streets, but it's hard to flop sets in this game. And if you get set over setted, you just got to just say well done. I mean, you can tell everyone you went out set over set, but he's got to be raising the river there. If he's not raising flop or turn, I just think he has to get max value. But having said that, he won a pretty big pot, and that's just unlucky for Divan.
I checked it 3 times.
He ran into that hand. He'd been building up his chips nicely, actually, just quietly accumulating.
So I had Mark Joseph in here yesterday, and we were chatting about, and you were mentioned, of course, and we were talking about Kramer and some of the other sort of more accomplished players, and he was promising you were going to come visit. So we're delighted to see you. But Mark was mentioning that, I don't know if you recall, or I'm sure you're aware, he did this Carnival City sort of big satellites for trips to Vegas.
Yeah, sure.
And one of the mistakes that was made, and by his own admission, is that maybe it was held a little bit too late, and some people struggled to get visas, even if they'd won a prize.
Yeah.
So he's now talking about it, and it's just a plan, and it's not confirmed, but maybe at each venue holding a Las Vegas satellite, like a 10k entry or something, or 5k entry, or 3k, or whatever the case may be. I don't know. I mean, Carnival was 10k and 5k, and giving people the opportunity to go to Vegas, and then almost having Team Monsterjam going to Vegas next year. What do you think of that?
I think that'd be awesome. I mean, it looked like those satellites did pretty well. There was quite a good uptake, and
Yeah, it cost me a fortune. I didn't see you in Vegas, eh?
I mean, how is Limcha? I imagine Harold should probably bump this up a little bit. What do you think?
I would imagine so. It's been sort of standard play from Uncle Harold. 10-7 for Howie.
And one thing about Howie is he likes to see a flop, eh?
Well, you summed it up perfectly. I've used the words myself. He gets sticky with cards. He
Yeah.
really does.
And I don't mind this. I don't think there's anything wrong. I mean, I don't love playing 3 gappers out of position without initiative, but wow.
Unless you flop second pair and your opponent gets top pair.
Check, like that check from Harold, even though it would have been better to have been better in this situation.
Yeah, and I think that's just a smooth
I
from
think-
Harold here.
I think it's auto.
Do you think it's a raise? I think he's just smooth calling here.
Je kon niet realize.
I don't know if he can re-raise this. Oh, he's counting out raising chips.
Well, yeah, Rudy in the background. You're going to call or raise there. Oh, he's pushed it.
So,
That's a shove. Look at Son's face.
but
Okay, auto fold. Let's move on.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
so that's I think it's a pretty good line from Harold. He checked a pretty dry flop, and then things got a bit wet with the flush card and one card straight on the turn,
Indeed.
one card straight draw, and then he wasn't having any of it.
and Sun
so
fires, of course, so that gives him the opportunity to come back over the top straight away. And you know he's going to make Sun pay for whatever he's looking for.
yeah,
For sure.
sure.
And
And
the
also-
price was too big. Of course.
And also he's got the Jack 4 from earlier that he showed how he, I don't know if that made a difference, but
60-60.
it's been great watching these guys. I mean, I'm just starting to realize how many times Howie's bluffed me in my life, and I'm quite upset. I just fall to that.
You're
man
not the
more
first person to sit there and
than-
say,
I swear.
yeah, these guys have been getting away with this nonsense for years.
Crazy.
Absolute years they can get away with this nonsense. And, you know, this is definitely the best seat in the house for an education.
Oh yeah. I wish I had a pen and paper here, jotting this stuff down.
No problem. We'll send you a copy
Thank
of the
you.
stream.
Thank you. Howie's raised the button with ace 9. That's a pretty big hand, 400.
Mm-hmm.
Fives from Devon, and I think he's got about 1.2 million. It's about 20 bigs. This is
It's raising. I don't know. It might be
yeah,
shipping.
he's moving in here, and Howie has got a tough spot. Ace 9 is on the border for 20 bigs in his tournament life.
All in.
Yeah, this is. See, the thing here from Howie, I mean, it's only ace 9, but like you got to ask yourself, like, Devon's got 20 bigs. What would he do if he had ace 7 suited?
Mm-hmm.
What would he do with ace 5 suited? What would he do with king queen? Like, there are hands here that Howie can have beat, but I think he's called him.
Call.
He's called him.
Call in call.
Fives, the race.
Okay,
Five
well,
with ace 9.
we're almost racing. 52-48, so it's almost equal. And Divan is definitely the player at risk in this occasion. Nice and slow dealer. Okay, so there's some draw possibilities. Looking for aces or 9s, of course.
Oh, and
well,
that'll be that.
That'll be that, as they say.
Deal finish. Finish.
We know Divan's got a lock on the hand, but we need to see the last card. Well done, Divan. And welcome relief, huh?
Yeah.
Some time to breathe.
Yeah.
It's good for ace.
So, like, I've got an interesting thing too. I mean, this
I don't know if that's right.
yeah, I
actually.
think it is. He's got 2 big blinds, that's
Okay.
right.
Oh, yeah, sorry, you were saying.
So, like, it's quite an interesting thing now, and I don't know if it's right or wrong, but how we basically raised and called effectively all in for his tournament life.
You have to call Mr.
Would it not, or is it not better, if you are going to do that, to just move all in yourself and take away people doing that to you with hands that you'd like to get fold from? Fives is a perfect example. Would Devon have still called? He probably would have. But, you know, unless you've got a hand that you really want to get action from, and I mean ace 9, ace 10 suited, ace jack suited, I'd like to get action. But ace 9, ace 8, ace 7, I don't want to be facing all ins.
So you're advocating that it would be better for Howie to be putting his money in first and put Divan to
Yeah,
the test.
not definitely, but it's, I mean, you're in that range where, listen, if it's ace 6, ace 7, I'd be probably a little bit happier to raise and then fold. But raise and call is like, it's just, it puts you in a world of pain, and, you know, you give people the opportunity to shove worse hands and get you to fold, or shove flips and shove 2 picture cards, and now all of a sudden they might have folded those hands, and you land up being in a 50-50 situation where ordinarily you would have just taken it down.
And you know, great for the people listening on the stream. I mean, what a great insight to a top player's mind there. I mean, it's something that it's actually got me set me off thinking already. Incidentally, the blind levels have gone up while we've been chatting.
Oh well, hold on. It says looks like Howie has 800k, so he's still
Yeah.
got 13 bigs. So then it's different. After that said he had 2 bigs, but
Yeah, I think we had just a miscount on the chips there.
but
we've
it's
rectified
still
it.
relevant. It's a still relevant topic, you know.
Oh, we're 60,000 in the big blind, 60,000 big blind ante. That's 120 commitment for every rotation just on the big.
Yeah.
You know, that's huge. So I mean, you know, he's still in shoving mode here. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, 13 bigs.
And this table needs to get down to 3 people.
I'm quite enjoying this merry-go-round, eh?
Yeah.
It's made
I'm
some
getting
good
bloody
ones.
dizzy.
Yeah.
So I'm still pumping you on my Las Vegas stories. I've got to get all the intel.
Go
Well, I've
for
got
it.
you. Well, I've got you chained to
for
the
it,
chair.
go
Let's
for
look at this this hand first before.
Nice. Seen a lot of that. Limp pre from the small blind and stab flops. And I think people have had pretty good success doing it.
I'm jumping around a bit. I've got you back in South Africa, post 73rd place and
Alright.
pocket full of money.
Alright.
Did you go into hibernation? Or did you get out there and start shaking a few hands?
No. I actually just took a break and I went, you know, I just went on a holiday. I went and got engaged, obviously, and it was always the plan. You know, I left my my fiance alone for a month, and the deal was any bit of success, and I treat us to something nice, you know. And I was like, there were like 200 or 300 people left, and I was like, where are we going? She's like, no, not deciding. You must first do well. So I'm like, nah, I don't care. Doesn't matter where I come. We're going somewhere. And
Sounds like she's a keeper to me.
yeah. No, she's been great. Rudolph raises the button with ace-5. Harold with 9-6.
Howie's now looking for a spot, of course.
Wow. There's Harold with ace-queen. What would you like to see here, Gary?
Well, from Harold, I'd like to see a raise. Rudolph's been splashing around so many pots. He's played so loose today. I mean, that's his style occasionally.
yeah.
So, you know, let's start making some money now. Let's make it early.
Yeah.
And for me, I'm around about 300. I have pot size bet.
Look like you right to what's that? 370 odd. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's up there.
I don't see. I mean, this I would hate for Rudolph to call you. I mean,
yeah, I mean, you as you said earlier, we don't want people drawing here. You know, I mean, let's make people pay for their draws. You know, crumb bums and flush hunters, you got to pay. You
Yeah,
know,
sure.
For me, and it's a premium hand,
and
short-handed.
and he just bins it. I mean, ace medium, ace rag just performs so badly when someone's re-raised you, because they've got such a big portion of their range will consist of aces with better kickers. Although some players are capable of re-raising, you know, with just an ace.
Sure.
For the most part, they generally have it.
So a little bit of feedback for you. Obviously, I mean, I get around a bit in poker,
Yeah.
and don't have a proper job at the moment, so
Okay.
I've just become a degenerate for a little
Alright,
while. I'm having a
wel-
rest
welcome
from
to the
proper
world.
work. Yeah, I wouldn't put myself in the same bracket.
The
but,
water's lovely.
you made us a video on social media,
Yeah.
and I spare your blushes, but I think we saw the real Gerard Solomon in the video. You were genuinely upset that you'd let down your country.
Yeah.
And you hadn't let down your country. We were flying the flag high. We were beating the drum. But I could tell in the emotion in that video, and also speaking to people about it. I mean, these guys were moved by that. They were actually moved that you took the time to put yourself out there and bare your ass in the window, mate. That's what you did, eh?
Yeah. Look, I mean, it was for me. It was something that I'd thought about the minute, like after it all became too much, the support and everything, and literally I didn't speak to my friends. I didn't speak to any of the poker players that were trying to reach out to me. I was uncontactable.
Yeah.
And I just blocked it all out, and I made a commitment that when it's all said and done, no matter where I come, I'll pay a proper tribute and show my appreciation, because it was really very moving and very humbling to have all of that. And yeah, I mean, I didn't think the video would get the traction and attention that it did. I didn't make it for that reason. It was genuinely just to show people, give them a show of appreciation.
We got a
Howie
shove
just
here
shoved
from
with
Howie.
with
Yeah.
ace-8, 11 bigs.
I think Harold might look him up here. I don't know.
No, I
Let's
don't
look at the
think
count.
he can't call with Queen Jack suited, surely. Wow, Harold, I'll be very disappointed in you if you make this call. See, this is one of those things. If this is Queen Jack offsuit, Harold's just binning it. Yeah, he's always binning this, man. Oh, he's gonna call. No ways. Yeah, he's always binning
Okay.
it.
Fold, fold.
Right, he gets through. So yeah, so I made that video, and you know, like one of my biggest dreams, even more so than actually probably the bracelet or the money, is that every time someone wins a bracelet at the World Series of Poker, they have a ceremony where Jack Effel, the director, makes a speech, calls them up, tells everyone about the player, and then they cap it off with playing the person's national anthem. And that has literally been a dream for me since I've been going to the World Series.
Sure.
You know, Eugene and I have spoken about it, and all I want is just to one day just be up there and have Nkosi Sikaleli playing in the background, and
Jack Ethel shaking your hand and get the photograph.
yeah.
Oh, that'd be awesome, man.
Yeah, I mean, and that's why, like, you know, when I was deep in the tournament, I loved it that South African was making waves and putting us on the map, because we can play some poker. So the South African community, you know.
And we do need to get on the map. For those people who don't know, Jack Ethel is the VP of the WSOP and also head of the Tournament Directors Association. So, Mr. Poker, well known throughout the world,
Yeah,
and you know, a face to be reckoned with, and up there with the personalities. So, yeah, so the video was, I mean, dare I say, viral within the poker community. People had it on their phones. If they said, "Have you not seen it?" Oh, boom, there you go. You know.
I mean, I
So
didn't know that.
yeah, for sure. Trust me. And you know, I was in Santon, I was in Edenvale, you name it. I go to those games, and everybody, to a man and to a woman, was watching that video. Trust me, and they were all very appreciative that you'd taken the time to just to say thank you. You know, and it was heartfelt, and we felt that coming through. So you know, your intentions were great, and they landed 100%. Trust me. So that's
great.
feedback from the poker community, and I tell you, hand on heart, it was
Thank you, Gary.
fantastic.
I actually saw Carl earlier today, and he goes to me, "I watched that video. It was a great video, but you looked tired." So I was like, "Yeah, I looked like I'd been in Vegas for 4 weeks." So,
Yeah. A lot of true words said there. Huh? So, we got a hand developing. No, we're not. They all get rid of it and it folds round. So, do you follow the? So this is probably a stupid question, but did you look yourself up on Hendon Mob lately?
No, not really. I mean,
Okay, well the question was asked of me in commentary the other day, so I looked you up.
yeah,
Well, I actually looked up the all-time list, and only Uncle Raymond is above you now, huh?
yeah.
You are number 2, South Africa.
I get a lot of needle about that, about Ray being on top of the list. But you know, the Hendon Mob thing, people.
They place a lot of store by it because it's a measure, it's a
Yeah,
benchmark, etc. But you know, it depends on what your own goals are, I suppose.
But the truth is, it's a measure, but it's not really nearly an accurate measure at all, because
It doesn't include all the other stuff. Hang on.
we've got Rudolph opening here to 150, and Howie all in for 10s. Can Rudolph get away here? I don't think he can. I mean, Howie shoved a few times, and he's called his sidekick. Yeah, he's called him.
And Harold's running for the loo.
Oh my word, that's not what I want to see.
I don't mind this from Harold. From Rudolph. I think Ace 10 short-handed. I think
Strong
Howie
hand,
sub
strong
13
hand.
bigs.
Big pot, 1.8 million.
Wow, and there it is.
He spikes it.
Oh, hello.
Back doors, here we
It's
go.
literally the best flop you could hope for, besides
Diamonds are a boy's friend's best friend or not?
Watch, black.
It's red,
Black,
it's frightened.
any black.
Rudy shouting for the black card.
merry-go-round. Wait for it.
Yes!
It gets there. Howie, good game, sir. I'm tapping the table.
Yep, and me
Honestly,
too. Big hand.
very impressed with the way he played, and you know, it's another good result for this man. He's literally at every single final table of late, and you can see why by watching this.
And he's 200,000 rounds better off. Not a
Yeah.
bad day's work, huh?
Yeah, he'll be alright.
That'll make the trip back to Botswana nice and comfortable.
Yeah.
But he's going to be here for the main, and trust me, he'll be around and he'll be circulating. He's quite a social character.
I wonder if there'll be any chat of a deal. I don't know. Who said no? Did Devon say no?
There was just too big a gap between the stacks at the break, so
Fair enough.
there was almost $1 million between first and third
Fair enough.
at the time. So Don't know. Rudy was the one who was generating most of the chat about deals, to be fair.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So then,
Harold and Divan really weren't interjecting. They agreed to taking this 20, 10 and 5 and putting it on the bottom.
Okay.
And that was driven by Rudolph. But
Okay.
apart from that, there was no chat. I saw them outside taking some air. And I just, 3 of them were together. And I said, any deals? He said, there's no total deal. Too big a chip deficit. And I left it. You know.
Okay.
And I just wanted some information for the stream. And maybe we could just give us a little bit more volume on the chip mic, on the mic on the table. Thanks.
Are these strips all yours?
Help yourself.
You've been hard at work here, guys.
Sponsored by.
Slowly. Oh, well, geez, you've got the whole pharmacy here, the whole disc in there.
Yeah, I'm an addict. But
Oh,
I
really?
could, yeah, but I mean, it's all stuff you can buy over the counter, which is good.
Yeah, it doesn't make it any better. Well done, bright future.
58 years old and going downhill fast. I'm a broken man.
Yeah, not yet, but if you eat 25 pretzels, strepsils, you might be.
No, that's 2 days consumption. So I mean, not too bad.
Oh, not bad. So 16 pretzels, strepsils in 14 hours. It's 1 an hour, not bad.
Yeah, I'll look up the contents. Not too bad. I'm not floating yet, so it's fine. Will you pass me one of those waters, buddy? And will you pass me the water? I have to mention our sponsor, Aquavita Water, also the official sponsor of EFC, Regal Hospitality and Events, which also looks after us Monsterjam people, Sun International, our partners, and Global Poker Index and Hendon Mob. So, and of course, a shout out to the Boardwalk people. How are they looking after you, buddy? VIP
Well,
treatment?
Honestly, I'm not trying to, you know, do anything for the sponsors here, but genuinely, this Boardwalk Hotel, number 1, is one of the best hotels in the country. It is absolutely incredible here. Number 1. Number 2, this water, I don't drink still water, I only like sparkling, but this water is proper delicious. I don't know what it is, but it is so nice.
I said that yesterday. Everybody said I was giving some BS line. I was paid to do it.
I'm not.
I said
not
there's
paid.
no
I don't even
chlorine
know
in
about
this.
it.
It's just a nice sweet taste. I
Great
like
water.
it.
Really is great water.
So they've come back and the hands have just gone straight off. There's no talk of any deals here, Jared. So
So Rudolph raises. He's now got a big chip lead, and you know this creates an interesting dynamic because. Huh? Oh wow! It's gone. Has it gone raise?
210.
It's gone raise, re-raise here, I think. No way.
No, it's a call. It's a call by Rudy.
Okay.
What's wrong? The pot is 480. I'm losing track of this.
So basically, I think Rudolph limped, Harold raised. Flop went check.
How much? 260. Cool.
And now Harold bets out and a snap call from Rudy.
Wow, this is going to be a very
He's
interesting
looking for the
turn of
diamond
events.
flush, huh?
He's looking for the diamond flush. He's ahead, but Harold has the betting lead.
Indeed.
Check.
Now let's see.
Okay, ball pairs up.
Yeah, I get flash to only.
Ah, and he wins with king off.
Yeah.
Oh my word, they really.
That's a million pot, by the way. Hello.
I think Harold re-raised him here. I don't know why. That's a big pot. I think Harold re-raised him 3.
Well, that's given Rudy a bit of a leader.
Yeah, he's got a
Wow.
big lead now. And now this creates like an interesting dynamic between the 2 short stacks. They're obviously both going to be fighting it out for the big pay jump from 3rd to 2nd.
Sure.
Hey,
There's 100,000 plus the
It's
page.
a great
50,000.
it's a great
En ek
spot
is
to
voor
be in
met
for
my
Rudolph. Just having this little edge, and I'd like to see him up the ante here and really go to work on these guys and like put a lot of pressure on them. He's obviously played over 1 million tournaments in his life. This man, he's I don't need to be telling him this, but this is different to just a 91 tournament, you know.
Well, Rudy needs to put his game face on and stop being so nice and start putting those chips to
I
work.
don't know if he has it in him. There we go. Ace Jack, he's got it.
Raise up to 150.
Oh, he's just
And they're
scratched.
expecting him to raise, of course.
Of course. Well, Harold's got the Jack 8, not going anywhere.
Play your flat corner.
Jack 8 offsuit, I mean,
10-6 there in the muck.
and this, when you divan and you're seeing this, or whenever you see the big stack clashing with the short stack, it's you're always just hoping for fireworks, you know.
Indeed,
Either way.
yeah. This is ladder up opportunities for him, of course.
So bet
Rudy's still got the lead here with the ace.
150. Call.
Wow. Oh, please put a 10 out there. Not that I'm rooting for Rudolph, but just so we can just get some real quality TV time. Now what? Didn't bluff last time. This time he's going for it.
Yeah.
And I think he's going to get through here.
No, you've got to put some chips in.
Well played, Harold
Queen
Brooks,
fingers in that
ladies and
cell.
gentlemen.
Introducing.
Very, very nicely done, sir.
I didn't think he was putting enough in there, but that was a snap fold from Rudy, huh?
Well played.
Yeah.
And that is how you play Jack 8, I guess.
What's it now?
It's an education for sure.
Well, ik daar moeilijk wordt.
So there we see the prize jumps, 160 odd thousand. I know it's a bit adjusted, but 150 odd thousand from third to second. It's a lot of money, 1.8 million in the pool.
Yeah, for sure. 8 million chips in play. So, Rudy's got over 50% of the chips in play now almost, or more than 50% in fact, I think from the last count.
30 more.
I mean, Devon's been very interesting. He hasn't gotten many hands, but he's been patient. And eventually he should pick up a few hands.
Did he just complete the...
Yeah, he just limped the 9-3 suited. Rudolph checks back the queen 7.
Check.
Check.
Well, Devon's got the 3 here.
Wow.
I mean, he's looking for Rudy to make a move. Hoping Rudy's going to make a move.
Kijk, de hubbies. Gun meer in de hubbies geëindigd.
And that's exactly what Devon doesn't want to hear.
So we've got an all Afrikaans final table here. I mean,
Well, they know the rules, Sergio.
what's it? One language? Just Afrikaans?
No, it's got to be English.
Oh, really?
The dealer is also involved, remember.
Oh, okay.
And if they don't speak Afrikaans.
Okay.
Wow.
Met de King 7.
Maak eens voor.
Ja, show your business. That's not enough.
Het is shock.
Yeah, if it gets too heavy, and I mean, then it's spoiling a viewer experience. Somebody will remind them, I'm sure.
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying my best here to get pieces together.
Al je chips.
Hoe verstaan ik dat dan niet?
60 to play.
Hoe verstaan ik dat niet?
30,000 more.
You want to have a wager on that? Oh.
Wager on what, buddy?
Raise.
Well,
Up to
you can
150.
either have Rudolph
90
Uh-huh.
more.
Or Devon.
No, Rudolph or Devon and Harold to win.
That's an interesting bet, huh? And you know,
Mooi, mooi, nice one.
Hier een fokker
I'm happy for you to take your pick.
groot verloren.
Ik kan het verstaan.
I'm looking for the twist in here
Yeah,
somewhere.
no,
I
There's
just-
no twist. There's no twist. You can either have Rudolph or you can have Harold and Devon. I'm happy with either side. I think it's a very fair bet.
Kijk hoe staan er nog zo.
I'll take the 2 small stacks.
Doe ze een plak, kan je zien.
We'll write down the wager because we can't be saying things on.
Okay.
It's a big wager, folks,
De eerste keer dat ik ijzers kreeg.
60 to play.
for fun.
Shake, you got a deal.
We don't encourage betting on the stream, of course.
Raise.
You
Up
know,
to
we just
150.
shook hands for a fun bet. Hand 135 of the day.
Oh. So we predicted that that Rudolph would up the ante, and he's done that.
He's got to change gears now. He's
I
got
mean,
to start bossing the
He
table.
had aces the last hand, but I mean, he's literally raised 5 of the last 6 hands.
And Devon's getting rubbish though.
7
7-2,
Yeah.
you know.
Beat 7
And he spent a lot of periods of time card dead, but that guy's patient, huh? He can be patient.
Let me tell you, it's really, really improved. He was always very good at accumulating chips and building stacks, but as a poker player, you being able to shift through gears and at any time, depending on the situation, the hand you're getting, the stacks, the people you're playing with, is a crucial skill.
60,000 to play.
Yep.
Absolutely. So I need to look at the chip counts now. Now I've committed my complete family fortune to this bet.
I mean, he hasn't had many hands to raise the small blind with, but he has just been pure limping for the most part.
Raise. Up to 150.
150 with 19, I think that's fine.
Rudy's snap calls here with the ace 9.
Ace 9.
Surprised didn't re-raise actually.
So this is a fair fight. Devon dominated, but the betting lead. Let's see who wins it.
Well, Rudolph is ahead still. And we see bets.
I wonder if Rudolph will stick around here. I mean,
Zo.
wow.
Ik moest olie gaan pee. Ik moest olie gaan pee.
Interesting that Devan just shut down there.
Ja. Nuts.
Maybe he smelled something, I don't know.
Living the dream. He's 3 hours like smart.
Okay, so it looks like we got the loud rail have arrived. I've only seen the bottom half, but that looks like Ahmed and Lauren.
60-60.
I think it'll be Roxy over in the right hand corner. You can only come in here if you've got food.
Stem.
Looks like it.
Ik zeg olie, ik moest olie gaan pee.
Did you see those two on the final table, the free roll?
I didn't actually.
With Edgar.
No, I
Edgar
didn't.
just stood up, he said, I may as well give up now.
Oh, really?
And the
Ik heb een
last
set
three.
geklopt toen ik top
And,
weer.
they just murdered him, man. And no collusion. It just happened that way.
Oh,
They
really?
absolutely murdered Edgar.
Flat deck net die
And then, of course, Ahmed just capitulated, said you could have the title and the money. Just gave her a kiss and walked away, you know.
Wow, that's what love will do to a person, you know.
Well, you should know, eh?
Exactly.
You should know, brother.
Yeah.
Oh, pocket sevens for Devan now. What's the race?
Looks like
Ja, was het goed? Dat is een
130k.
9800 tot.
So Harold's getting a bit sticky with his. Did he have 8-5 of hearts there, Harold?
Ja, nee, ik eerst.
Oh,
8-5 of hearts.
8-5 of hearts, huh?
Here we go.
Maar we short, die call it.
Check. Interesting.
Maar het is niet waar ze sterk toe.
Surely
Het is 100 gehad.
Devan's got a bet there.
150.
Devan's got a lock on her hand.
no ways.
Don't do
No ways.
you
Harold
sick
Brooks.
man.
Look at this sociopath go.
What a sicko.
But
He's not showing those cards, trust
I
me.
swear, out of all the ways that flop could have played out, check. Shove
fold.
when the heart misses on the one card straight with 8 heart. Fold.
How's that happen?
N8, sir.
60-60.
He's a sick man.
So there we go. I mean, that's a huge shove. I mean, wow. I
That's
mean,
massive. You know, and I don't like talking about people's finances and all the rest of it, but Harold's playing like a man who's not interested in the money, he's only interested in the trophy.
Yeah,
And
I mean-
Devan's playing like the guy who wants the money, you know.
yeah.
I mean, and that's really the dynamic I'm seeing there, you know. The ball.
62 play.
Devan's still at work.
Fold. 30 more.
I mean, Devon's always methodical and calculated. He knows he's eventually going to have a hand, and he's just hoping that one of these guys makes a mistake when he has it.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Up to 130.
Whatever happens, eerst van hulle gaan hom wen.
So I haven't bugged you for a question for a while, so
Okay,
I've
go
got to
for
ask you
it.
another question.
All right.
Harold Bullion.
So, young aspiring, first time visitors to Las Vegas or whatever. Some advice, some budgeting advice, some travel advice. You know, what did you do wrong all the times that you did it, and how did you put those right? You know, what did you say? Which route did you take? And did you get, you know, the jet lag? All those sort of things that
Okay.
affect you.
So obviously touched on it earlier, but you know, Vegas more than any other city, if you're not careful, it can literally consume you, chew you up, gargle with you, and then spit you out.
Wow.
You know, there are things from casinos in every single hotel you go in to the nightlife, the shows, the bars, the drinking, the parties, the
Ek het
DJs.
weer niks. Yes.
Hello. Oh, open ender for
Devan.
Devon. Rudolph might stick around, yeah.
65.
Swear, I love how fast Rudolph plays.
Yeah,
Literally, he beats the better into the pot most of the time.
It's unreal, isn't it?
I mean, Rudolph's got the best hand, yeah.
The old computer hand, Queen 7.
Hmm.
115. Fold.
Get 'n kat.
Yeah,
Olie
indeed,
met 'n
well played.
kat.
So
So obviously, yeah, you can get sucked into all the distractions if you let yourself. I mean, the biggest and best strip clubs in the strip club capital of the world, pretty much.
Really?
I'm talking football size,
Wow.
football field size strip clubs. So like if you go there and like it's all, I mean, it's a big washing machine. You go, you have a few drinks at a bar, and the next thing, you know, someone walks by, say, hey, do you want to come into the club? And the next thing you're in the club, and the next thing the club's closing, and then you get into the cab, and the cab's saying, come, I want to take you to a strip club, and like it's just designed to like consume you. So you have to go out with a pretty good game plan of what you're going to do, and then I mean, budget and money management, as always with poker. Not that I'm the best to probably be lecturing, but just to like really pick the right games and make a schedule, stick to it, be disciplined, don't get tilted, and just know that if you go for 10 days, you've got 10 days to do it. If you go for 3 weeks, you've got a long time. So it's easy to just get despondent and, well, might flop this for the TV. Open in a straight draw and the 6-high flush draw for Harold.
Yeah.
There's got to be some betting out between one of them. Oh, Rudolph's taking a stab for 100. Oh, Harold shoved. Oh, it's a great play.
It's just not cool.
I fold.
Oh, he folded. I thought he said he called.
Open ended there, boy.
I mean, Harold has been
Aggressive?
he's very aggressive.
So money management, don't get consumed by the washing machine and gobbled up and spit out. I like that. Nice analogy.
Yeah.
Money management is key. And what are you saying now? You've got to plan the events you're going to play in advance.
So I mean,
and try and stick to a
if
plan
you-
unless you hit it big and
exactly.
then you can change.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, if you're going to go and you're going to play 12 tournaments or whatever, you know what your budget is first. Then decide how many tournaments you're going to play, and then stick to those tournaments. Obviously, there will be some days where it might change. You might make a day 2 and everything, but you've got to have a rough idea of where you're going to be placing your time and efforts. And if cash games are no different, you go like, let's say you're going to go play there, you're going to take $10,000 with you. So okay, you're going to play, I don't know, $1, $3.
Yeah.
And you'll play 4 hours in the morning, 4 hours at night, and you just stick to that. And you can be clever in Vegas. You can literally, some casinos offer deals where
Aces.
some casinos offer deals where if you play on their tables, they'll give you free food or cheaper rooms or. So you just got to be aware of that stuff, and there's a lot of information out there. You can plan and put it together if you just put some time and effort in.
And of course, always have a return flight book.
Oh, yeah, that's also a good idea.
You've got to have your kid out of jail free card. And visa-wise for the South Africans.
Oh yeah.
How does that work? I mean, I have a British passport, but for the South African passport,
Must be nice. You can go anywhere you want, right?
well, not anymore.
Okay.
Europe doesn't exist anymore.
Okay.
Have you not met our new Prime
I'm
Minister?
sorry about that. Sorry, RIP.
Yeah.
Look, the cool thing is about South Africans going to America, sure, it's expensive to get there and expensive to live there, but you don't need to win a lot of money to actually make a lot of money, if that makes sense.
I understand what you're saying because of the value of the dollar. Smaller prizes are worth more when you come back.
Exactly. Like Americans literally don't care for like $200 or $300 or $400. When you pick up $400 somewhere, I mean, you've just made yourself 6,000-7,000 rand. It's decent money,
Yeah, for sure. That's good. And you said you spent a lot of time with the Rio. What other sort of places do you play at in terms of tournaments and recommendations? I mean, put your tour guide hat on here and let us learn from your experience. Where would you say the places to go to play poker?
So, I mean, it's tough because obviously you want to play, certain formats of the game. There's some poker rooms that are, like, let's say, the Win has probably the nicest poker room, but the Win doesn't always have the tournament bind you want. The rates are so quite big there, so you want to just weigh it up yourself. The Rio is an absolute piece of poo, but the biggest fields, the biggest prize money, the most prestigious. So that's where the busiest place is.
Well, that was one of my other questions for you. Was the rake, is that a standard or is it vary throughout?
It changes from casino to casino.
So what's worse than what's best? I mean, in your experience.
So as far as I know, Planet Hollywood has a very good series on, but the rake is ridiculous there.
Yeah.
The rake's ridiculous everywhere. I mean, you must remember these casinos have to justify putting in the resources, time and effort to host these things.
Sure.
They want to make money when they do it. And poker players,
60,000 to play.
they don't have a choice, you know. They go for it, and that's it pretty much.
60,
Okay.
30 more.
So we're down to 3 players here.
Fold.
Mr. Sun has left us.
Rain, well played,
We're,
Ivan.
144 hands played, 30, 60 and 60 on the big blind. We've got about 20 minutes to run on the level and we're going for a break. Just under 8 million chips in play, of which Rudolph has 50% of them.
Wow.
Sure.
And yeah, I mean, it's been a good watching these 3 and previously 4 go at it. There's not much walking, although for the same price there hasn't been much bluffing, although Harold in the last 15 minutes has pulled off 3 bluffs for effectively his tournament life, and one was on the river with 8 high. I mean, you got to just sometimes tip your cap and say well done.
The stuff of legends.
Yeah.
The stuff of legends. So you're obviously here in PE. You played in this event, obviously. And when obviously you're talking to me, so you're not out there, so
Yeah.
that didn't go too
Thanks for the fun fact, yeah.
well. Yeah. And so what's the plans? I suppose main event this evening, huh?
So yeah, so we'll jump into the main event tonight.
You're going to start on time, or you're going to make an entrance? What are you going to do?
To start on time, but also I'd like to go grab some dinner as well. I'm not sure what the story is with the dinner break and everything.
Well, I believe the event starts at 7 o'clock.
Okay.
I mean, if you can spare the last 20 minutes of the level with us
Yeah, of
and
course.
go to the break, we'd appreciate it.
Of
But
course.
we'll understand if you
No,
can't.
of course.
And you know, I myself was also going to go and get changed. I've been sat here since 11 o'clock this
I
morning.
don't know how you do it.
Changes now.
You make it sound so easy.
You flatter me. I think, you know, it's great when you get some guests come and sit beside you. It's something to bounce off, different views on the game. And, you know, we've got some wonderful people in this poker community of ours. You know that, huh? Some
We've
really
got-
wonderful
we've
people.
got-
Up to 120.
Such a good mix of great fun people as well as brilliant poker minds as well.
For sure.
Rudolph's raised 9 here and Harold is defending 8-6. He's pretty much defended his big blind every
Sure.
single time.
Guys, please call.
Okay, so
Wow.
Harold gets a little piece of this. Just the Rudolph holding the overpair. This is going to be the
So now I don't speak much Afrikaans, but ek het 'n hand, ek ook. As far as I know, I have a hand and I also have a
I
hand.
also have a hand, yeah.
Cards, please.
Between us, we'll get through this, eh?
Yeah.
I'm just a deaf pommy, you know.
Je kan jou niet mee uitlozen.
Yeah, we will ask the guys at the break. I mean, we're not going to do it now; they're in flow. But we'll ask them if they
Yeah,
don't mind
that's
speaking a bit of English, because obviously there's a lot of viewers around the world
Yeah.
who speak English. I mean, we've got people in America, we've got people in Australia watching, people in Canada,
Okay.
and they're all English-speaking nations. So we're trying to put on a show here for the world now. And if we're having a global audience, then we've got to speak the global languages.
That's just to give a bad deal.
And unfortunately, Afrikaans isn't global.
I'm defending my big man.
But I won't. I've showed you every hand what I raised with.
So, great venue here in PE, and
No, I didn't
the
raise
dealers have got a lot better. Huh?
62
I think Mark's done some work with these guys.
Actually,
Yeah, I don't know where the credit is due, but these dealers are they're brilliant. I mean, they've come a long way from the first time they've dealt. And here we've got Rudolph opening the button with Queen Jack and Harold in the small blind with a pair of 10s.
Raise or smooth?
He's definitely going to 3-bet this.
Yep.
It'll be interesting to see what Rudolph does. He might
That's
stick
big
around.
sizing, eh? Look at that.
And he just snap folds it. I like that from Rudolph. I mean, it's very easy, when you've got a lot of chips, to think, okay, I'm in position, let me call, take a flop. But Queen Jack offsuit just plays so badly, much like Ace Rag. you know, the implied value of those kind of medium hands, you know,
Tens.
when you actually make a hand and it's the second best hand, can be really, really devastating.
Ik heb 2 overs gevuld. Hoe weet dus wat dus op je flop?
Want het is geweest, daarom is het gevolg zo, dat is een goede volk.
He's such a degen. Okay, so we're approaching the break after the 2-hour session. How did you think the structure went? I'm just curious. I mean, it was 45 minutes up until the end of the re-entry period, and then it changed to 1 hour.
Ik heb Jack Queen.
Do you get in flow on 45 minutes? Does your bodily function get into the 45-minute cycles?
Yeah, so I first saw it last year at the Venetian actually, but these incremented levels
We were
on the
just
bottom of
paused there.
aces. And he's been playing like a lot. He's been shoving all in. Like, if these guys get anything, I mean, they've got to be getting.
Give the chips.
108.
Ace 4. This is a tough spot for Divan.
Yeah.
I mean,
And you know, given this is on that.
he just binned it.
Oh, good.
I think that's fine. I mean,
Harold will show the needles now. Sure. So, you say you saw this change of level structures at the Venetian?
yeah, I saw at the Venetian, they actually go, day 1 of their tournament is 45 minutes, day 2 is 60 minutes, and day 3 is 75 minutes.
Really?
And I think it's brilliant because, you know, when towards the end of the tournament where, you know, the
Deeper.
play slows down, it's a bit deeper,
Lines are bigger.
the money becomes more significant. All of a sudden, you know, the decisions are more important, people are more deliberate. You need a bit more time.
I think Haggo said it, you get time to play with the longer level.
Yeah, for sure.
What did we get on that double? What was
Yeah, so I mean, 45 minutes is obviously pretty quick. I mean, we start with a lot of chips. But,
Sure.
you know, it does move to 60 minutes, and I think 60 minutes is perfect for a poker tournament.
So another good innovation from Monsterjam,
Yeah,
learning from others.
Great. Yeah, Mark's very good at that. He's always seeing what, you know, the latest trends are, what organisations are doing all over the world.
Check.
And you know, information is only powerful if you share it.
Yeah,
You know,
for
it's no good sitting on it. So, you know, the big blind ante has been shunned a little bit at some of the competitor casinos.
Yeah.
In fact, they actually advertise no antes on their tournaments now, which is, you know, for me, I think it's crazy. I'm sitting there till 4 o'clock in the morning trying to win 6,000 rounds.
Yeah, I didn't even know that.
Eight hours of my time is not well invested. you
Yeah,
know?
I didn't know that they've gotten away with the antes. I mean, I think the antes, an ante is crucial for a poker tournament.
Yeah, of course it is. I mean, you know, why would someone like me sit there for 9 hours to win 6,000 rand? I can go red or black or sit in the cash game and you know,
Yeah.
whatever. So I expressed I'm not going to name casinos, but I did express the fact that I thought it was bad form. And you know, I walked into the brick wall as usual, so just leave it. But in the tournaments, you know, the Monsterjam guys, most of the structures, there's very few complaints, and when there are, Mark gets it and he reviews it and makes a decision. Is this a valid fact? Is this a valid complaint? And if it is, he'll change it. You know,
Yeah.
he's not
Listen,
afraid to say he's wrong. You know?
It's also not easy, you know. You've got 100-odd people, everyone with a differing opinion, everyone with a relationship with Mark. Everyone wants to give their advice and help him and tell him what to do and everything. And eventually, you know, it's like almost, you know, when you're a captain of a cricket side, you can't just, you know, put a fielder where someone hits a 4 and then move that fielder the next place the 4 ball, someone hits another 4. You kind of almost have to set your field and then just kind of go with it and just trust that you've made the right decision and that things will work out.
What a great analogy. I like that a lot. I might steal that one.
Yeah, you're from the home of cricket, right?
Yeah, well, world champions, eh?
Yeah, sorry, I didn't want to say that. But
Yeah.
so,
Unfortunately, I've been here too long. I'm green and gold through and through, so I was suffering with the
Good
rest
man,
of you,
good
trust
man.
me.
so Rudolph raised the button here. We've been doing a bit. Divan defends with Jack 10.
And not much for either player, so this is a who's going to blink.
Oh, check. I mean, I'd like to see a bet there from Rudolph. I think he's just happy to get to showdown.
Check or bet. Hearts, please.
Yeah, King High wins.
Ja, Collier hebben net veel.
So he's busy saying it for the river there.
Hoeveel zit op de...
So technology-wise, obviously Mark is
35.
in conjunction with Cardstream and Cole Marburg. We've gone from the pinhole cameras now to the RFID technology.
I think this is unbelievable what these people are doing out here. I mean, I don't know who's behind it and who's responsible, but I think it's so great. And yeah, I don't see how people can not soak it up and enjoy it. You know, literally in the palm of your hand these days, the way modern technology is, and you can just literally be waiting room and you can just switch on and watch some poker for 5-10 minutes.
It's awesome, man.
It's great, it really is.
And you know, it doesn't happen on its own, of course. People have got to have a mind to do it, and you know Cole Marburg. You know, he's really championed the calls and made the table and got the technology in.
He's done a great job with it.
And you know, friends and family and nephews sitting to our left who are running the operation.
They're doing a great job as well.
Yeah, excellent, a fantastic job. You know, I mean, in the past we had to actually physically put the cards in with the pinhole cameras. Now they're sensed with the RFID, so these guys are just following the bets, following the folds.
And they've, much like the dealers, they've come a long way as well. I mean, like, they used to make a few mistakes, and have to point it out to them. But now, like, it just seems like it's so accurate. Pretty much all the time.
Fairly seamless, and you know, people don't believe it when we tell them we only actually have 4 cameras.
Well,
you know, we've got about 20 different shots that we're showing now because we're able to do that because of the tilt and the pan and the zoom, and we've got all the technology. We've preset all the different angles, etc. And you'll notice when the flop comes, it just opens in the middle of the screen. It's very clever. So you see the action faces behind. So then that's down to Marcel and Maris. These guys are doing a great job. They probably don't know who you are. The only people in the building who don't, by the way.
Okay.
I'll get his autograph for you later. Don't worry. Just kidding with you. I don't know how long we got left on the session. We've about 20 minutes we had, so I'm probably about 10 minutes now. These guys are both smokers, by the way, so they're starting to jump now. That's why I know we're getting near the break.
They look pretty in control.
No, they're a bit edgy. Notice. Got to keep them on a short leash, these young boys. So we reached a bit of a milestone while we were chatting there. This is hand 151 or 152 now for the day. So we've been grinding out quite a few hands.
Interesting how this was limp free. I like Rudolph limping the H here. It's interesting though, I mean, they both had very raisable hands. Both must have thought they were good.
Even once again, you know,
he just really hasn't had anything.
He's had no traction to that.
Literally can't get a break. I mean, having said that, he's gotten it in, I think, twice, and he's won both times. So, yeah, I mean, it would just be nice to see him like make a hand and just see if these guys are just going to. I mean, he flopped top pair with a king jack on king 7-2. The one time he makes a hand, he thinks he's going to get 3 streets, and there's Rudolph with bottom set.
Sure. So we're looking at 150,000 per rotation per player now.
It's expensive. It's a lot.
So I didn't recall the last chip count, but I think Divan is still our shorty at the table.
Looks like he's up there. Wow, and now Rudolph's been raising literally almost every button that gets that comes to him, and now he got a hand.
So, believe it or not, we've reached our highest numbers on all the feeds since we started. So I'm going to take all the credit for that.
Well done, and to your 2 side kicks over there as well.
Well, we did put it out that you were coming on, and we were going to start interrogating you. But just think of all the conversations I've saved you now. Maybe all the questions we've now generated. I don't know.
In all fairness, it has been a pretty good watch though. This
yeah, it's okay. It's entertainment, huh?
A good watch, seeing what these guys are up to. I'm gonna go have some harsh conversations with that Howie son. The amount of times I folded to that young man.
I suggest you keep that a secret and just get your own back in the way, in the best way we know how.
Not a bad suggestion. No.
But it's a real insight sitting in here and watching the whole cards and watching how players play. I mean, when you've got a full table, it's quite alarming how some of the moves these guys are pulling. But you know, they sign up to it to be on the feature table, you know, and everybody gets an opportunity on the feed, obviously. So getting a message on the stream from a guy in America. He works in the American embassy. And a shout out for Greg Church. In fact, I think he's in Brussels at the moment, and he says he got a nice retirement going on here, Gary. Yeah, I just gotta get my bills paid first, though, you know.
Here we go. Devon on the button with nines, and he's got 1.5 million. I mean, it looks like he's got.
He's got 10 big blinds, is what he's got.
No, he's got more than that. He's got like 23 or 24.
Oh, sorry, yes, I'm thinking on the full rotation, yeah. So he's got 10 rotations, should I say.
And Harold hasn't folded many big blinds. I mean,
but by the same token, Devon's not been very active.
yeah, I guess so. Rudolph just folded the 6-7.
So if we just fold Rudolph's cards, we're going to see Harold's cards.
And the 10-4 suited. I mean, this is the kind of thing I was referring to earlier with Devon. Like, all he needs is just a hand and for his opponent to make a mistake. Oh,
Not like two pair, you mean? And a flush draw.
Wow, what a big flop for Harold.
Yeah.
And that is how you play the 10-4 suited.
So you fancy a continuation here from Devon?
I'd like to see some mixing. I think I'm doing a lot of betting, but I don't mind checking back here sometimes. The thing is, you know, you bet, you know, Harold has showed a willingness to call bottom pairs and middle pairs, and, you know, Devon will want to be getting value from that.
For sure. Little does he know he's walked into a monster here.
Yeah.
Two pair and the flush draw. No flush draw, just the two pairs.
I mean, Harold's got to be raising here, surely, and just never strong enough to flat. Devon just going to fold this, Gary?
I don't know. He'll take his time and just play the hand back in his head. I mean, he'll do it pretty quickly, but he'll take his time.
300 more?
I mean, you know, if you're Devon, you've got to be asking yourself, what are the hands that Harold's raising here?
Yeah.
If he has an 8, he's calling. If he has a straight draw, is he shoving? Is he raising bigger?
Well, he's been calling with Jack 9 a couple of times, and we've seen his cards a few times with those hands. So you know, he can put him up and down. I mean, but if he's going to make him pay, it's going to cost him his stack. I don't think he's going to put his stack in.
Yeah. And it's just very irritating to have to just
fold
give
again with the medium pair.
Again, he finally gets something. He's like waited and waited for a hand, and he gets it, and he just gets put in this gross spot.
And of course, the other thing is, you know, he might not want to see a 9.
Yeah.
You know, Harold could be on a draw, and a 9 could make his hand.
Is he trying to talk to Harold, get some information? Yeah.
Yeah, he said something. I didn't understand what he said, but.
Gross spot. I mean, it's not even like he can flat and see what Harold does. Like, it's either he has to move in or he has to fold.
If he moves in, you know, there's going to be a lot of bad news.
Yeah.
I mean, he's literally 13% with 2 cards to come. And you do feel for him, eh? We've been in these spots.
It's painful. I mean, he's really been patient, and he's waited for opportunities in spots.
And we're talking about a big chunk of change this ladder up, huh?
Yeah. He's like thinking, does he want to get it in? Would just call with a 10, and he's dead.
Some great camera work from our guys, giving us a look at, you know, we're feeling the pain with you, Devon. We're feeling the pain.
I think he's got to just dig deep here and find a big fold. The other consideration is blinds are going up, so the next thing is going to be 80. You know,
we're about to come to the end of the level. I think we'll get one more hand in, Jared. I saved my best questions for last. You know that, right? Whether you like it or not, you're a poker celebrity now in South Africa. No, I know you're a shy man, and you know I know you well enough to out there who actually